This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. This episode is brought to you by Factor. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Head to factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off and use the code kindafunny50 off to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
What's up and welcome to a very special Kinda Funny Gamescast for Monday, January 12th, 2026. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
Greg Miller.
Good day, Tim.
Snowbike Mike.
What up, Tim?
Roger Picorni.
Good day, Kim.
And
He likes to think it's so easy being out here.
It's a bike fuck me off, you know what I mean?
It's not me fucking it up first. That feels good.
You messed it up. You messed
round
it up.
out the group, matching the set that he designed, it's Andy Cortez.
Hello, Tim.
Hello. Of course, we have Barrett Courtney running the boards as well. This is our Game of the Year 2025 episode. So, of course, we all had to show up, and we're about to have a ton of fun today. If you're watching live, be a part of the show by super chatting on youtube.com/kindafunnygames what your Game of the Year is. What's your top 5? Fuck it. What's your top 10? I want to know. Remember, we couldn't do this without our producers on patreon.com/kindafunny. So thank you to James Hastings, Carl Jacobs, and Omega Buster. So let's start with it. The topic of the show. Kinda Funny's Game of the Year 2025. This is our top 10. The last couple weeks we've been talking in various ways, whether it's the Smileys, kind of awarding all the video games of 2025. Amazing episode, guys. I'm very sad I got to miss it. I watched the entire thing. Y'all crushed it. Good jobs.
Thank you.
If you didn't watch it or listen, you should do that after you watch or listen to this, because this is it. This is the big one. This is where each one of us has submitted our final top 10 list of games from 2025 to Barrett. He is the only person that has that information. We do not know what's on anyone else's list. All of the numbers are aggregated into one final top 10 list that we will reveal live for our first time, for your first time. From 10 all the way to number 1, there might be ties. If that math in a way that there's ties, number 8 might have 2 games. It might have 3 games. Bless. It might have 4 games.
No, it can't.
I mean,
We got to draw the line somewhere. It might have 10 games.
It might happen. So that is what's going to go down. You excited for that, Greg?
I am, and I'm glad you kicked me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Barrett playing. I'm kidding. There's no music to play. I wanted to say something. Blessing stumped me a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was the beginning of this week. Maybe it was last week of work. I forget. But we were talking about how we do how we do the top 10s here, right? And I was like, well, there's a million different ways to do your Game of the Year, and obviously every site, every publication, podcast is different, and that's great. And I'm like, we could do a thing where we got into a room like IGN and we all argued for our game and then pick a game that way. And Bless was like, well, yeah, that'd be kind of cool if we did that or whatever. I was like, well, yeah. And I think he was even like, well, what makes ours special? And I kind of fumbled my answer. What I love about the way we do our top 10 is that I think it's so indicative of what the mindset of the company is. We're always so clear to call out that, we're an 11-person small business, right? And like, how much each one of us and our contributions make Kinda Funny. And I feel that, yeah, we could go into a room and we could have a fight the good fight for game A versus game X and eventually try to get people on your side and do the whole thing and win the votes. And then I like the idea of we come in as 11 individuals, and not obviously everybody votes, but we come in as the number of individuals that votes. We give our top 10 that are definitively us, that are the games that defined our year. We put it out there. That then becomes what this list is and what the Game of the Year is for a company that represents that way. And it is today just about celebrating what we love in games for a year. I love that about us.
Yeah, and on top of that, too, I do love that because we have the Daily Gamescast, we can still do the other way. Like, I feel like the final Gamescast of the year, I think it was last year, was a couple of you guys kind of like having more debate style conversation about the games, which I think is great and valuable, too. But yeah, I'm with you, Greg. I really think this is a super fun way to just celebrate. You know what I mean? It's just like, this isn't about being mad that the game that you have as number 1 isn't number 1. It's more about celebrating, like, as a group, all of us love these games so much. Barrett, I see you popping up there. You got something to say?
Just thinking about the uniqueness of our Game of the Year as well. Something that, we've been doing it like this technically since 2020. I think 2020 was the last year where it was still only 4 people voting. But I love the idea of like a lot of our best content is our live reactions, and that's something that really sticks out to me rather than everybody, all the other outlets. Is it's y'all reacting to the first time along with everybody else watching live, and we've been doing that since 2020 essentially, and so that's the thing that like I really appreciate about how we do Game of the Year is kind of like sticking to something that like is very kind of funny to me.
Yep. And what I love too is that this was such a good year for video games. And I know just talking to you guys for the last year, we all agree on some things and disagree on others. Like there are so many games that I have no idea what this list is going to look like. I have a good idea maybe about like the top, but like I don't know about the bottom of this list. Like, do you guys have any bold predictions you want to throw out?
I think the question that I got yesterday in Twitch chat was who's going to have the least amount of games in the top 10? And it was so hard to answer. I think Mike is the obvious answer.
It's clearly me.
But
I can promise you it's me.
no, but this will be the year where like if you have the least, the next person might have one less.
Yeah.
And then the next person and then there might be a 4-way tie for like the, you know, I think all of the taste this year is like there's 3 to 4-ish games and the rest of them are just kind of crapshoots. Who knows?
Yeah. Very interesting. Who will have the most? Who will have the least?
I'm mostly curious about 2 through 5.
Yeah.
2 through 5 is where I think things get a bit more competitive. Number 1, I think is an easy prediction. I'm not going to say, but I think that's a given.
No one can predict.
No one knows. 2 through 5 is where I get like, but like, you know, how much did y'all love X game versus the other game, you know? So I'm excited to get up there.
And it gets tough, but we have a while till we get there because we got to start with number 10.
This is Kinda Funny's Game of the Year list for 2025. Number 10. And Roger.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Love that.
Sneaking in there at that top spot of the bottom of the list.
Me and Greg talked about this during the Smileys. Tim, you weren't here for the Smileys.
Yeah.
I want to hear you talk about and Roger.
Well, and Roger, not on my list.
Oh.
Not on my list, which I'm surprised to see it get in here. Having not whose list was it on here?
My list.
My list as well.
Just the two of you?
Wow.
Being on 2 people's lists got it on the top 10. Very interesting. I did love the game a lot, and I gave a review of it on Gamescast saying that like if you are into like artsy indie games, definitely play this one. And go in not knowing anything, and I think it'll hit really hard. And depending on your life experiences, maybe hit too hard like it did for me. But yeah, really love it. I think it is a perfect example of a story that was enhanced by being a video game. Like it's the gameplay and the story back each other up in such a unique way that you just can't get from any other form of storytelling. But yeah, really, really love that, Roger.
Yeah. I think there's like a certain category of video game for me where they take video games seriously enough as a medium to try and do something really special with it in terms of message and story. I look at a Gone Home, right? Like I look at an Immortality, right? Like those games that we might describe as art games, but there's a level of creativity that is so beyond that, right? Like there's a level of creativity that I look at, I play, and I'm like, oh, this not only is a quote unquote art game, this is a game that respects video games, right? And does such a good job of acknowledging them. Andy, what's so funny?
You just look at the wall. Sorry, I noticed Ben Star's on
Just a human being.
That's not gonna Ben Star image.
Behind the 2.
Well, his face was in Dead Take.
I was gonna say shout out Dead Take.
He was
Yeah,
in
there you go,
Dead Take,
there you go.
He's in 4 different spots on the wall. Shout out to Ben Star.
But yeah, the fact that they're able to take subject matter that game is tackling
serious.
as serious,
Yeah.
right, and like translate it to mechanics that really, really enhance the story that they're telling, I thought was really powerful and really well done.
Yeah, as not to echo everything you said and add a little bit more, right, that we kind of touched on the Smileys. Again, I think Ian Rogers is a great example of what video games are as a storytelling medium. Again, it's why I love the kind of games I love most of the time, is that this gets to put you in someone else's shoes. This gets to let you experience something that is a nightmare in so many different ways, right? Of waking up and who is this man in your house, and then having to figure out what's going on and being confused and working through that and going on, and then having the aha moments of what's going on. Like, this is a game that I think is so powerful because it hopefully gives you an experience you will never have to experience in real life.
Yeah. Definitely check out And Roger. Shout out to it making the list. Very, very cool.
Are we
Super cool.
saying where it was on your list or no?
I think we're saving that for the
We're
top
saving
10.
that. Okay, gotcha.
So then We move on to number 9.
Number 9. Ghost of Yote.
Nice.
Okay.
Ghost of Yote.
Oh, okay.
Bless, was this on your list?
No.
Greg, was this on your list?
I believe it was. Yeah, it was.
okay.
Yeah. You know me.
Was
I
it
do
on
the
yours?
thing.
It was not on mine.
Roger, was it on yours?
Was on mine.
Roger, kick us off. What'd you think
Yeah,
of
Ghost of Yote is a game that took me by surprise in a lot of ways because I liked Ghost of Tsushima a lot. I don't think I loved it as much as a lot of people, but it was a fun experience. But Yote, for me, like, it had all those quality of life improvements that kind of ratcheted it up. And also, the story is just so incredible. The way that they weave Atsu's journey from her childhood all the way to adulthood and the twists and the turns. It is such a compelling experience that, again, really took me by surprise. I adored it. I wanted to play it every single day. I wanted to platinum it. Of course, life got in the way. But, you know, when you have that itch against somebody who does not platinum anything or have that desire to do that, when you have that feeling, it's like, oh, shit, this is something special for me. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I adored this experience. And I'm very excited for Legends, which, again, did not expect to be excited for that at all. So, yeah, this was super high on my list. I don't necessarily want to say the number yet, but super high on my list. And
Are we agreeing, Barrett? Is that the thing? We're not going to give away our numbers?
Yeah, if we want to. I feel like we talked about placements last year.
I thought we did
for
too.
Game
So
of the
yeah,
Year,
I didn't want to get too. I didn't want to.
okay, well, I'll just say it. Yeah, this is number 2 on my list.
Oh wow! Okay,
Number 2.
okay.
So it's super high up. I give it a 9.5, and I stand by that. This is a really amazing experience, and it's stayed with me the entire year.
Bless, I know you were huge on Legends.
Yeah.
So sorry, Ghost of Yote did not make your list here. Are you excited for Yote Legends, though?
I'm so excited for Yote Legends. Yeah, this is where the bottom part of my list got kind of tough to figure out. Like, this would have lived if me and Andy rallied for the top 15s. It would have lived in that 11 to 15 space for sure. This is one that I'm happy to see make the list because I was worried that we wouldn't even see it on the list, right?
Yeah.
I think there's, we can go back and forth as far as games iterating, AAA games, open world games, what things do differently, what things do the same. But I think at the very end of it, Ghost of Yote, I think, puts together an experience that learned from what people liked about Ghost of Tsushima and refined it in ways that I think really work well for what it is. I loved being in that world as Atsu. I think that as a main character, she worked so well, and the story there, as far as a revenge plot in video games, we've seen that countless times. I think this one was done particularly well. I think there's something about the characters that they introduce and how the stories interweave back into what Atsu's going through that is really engaging and really good. And yeah, I think the game does a really good job of just like, piggybacking off of what Ghost of Tsushima brought to the table, which is fun combat, a beautiful world, and a fun world to explore.
Yeah, this is on my list. I had it at number 8. A game I gave a 9 when we reviewed and Stand By. I think it's a amazing samurai film brought to a video game, right? The way you play between these protagonists as you go after the Yote 6. The surprises in there where, some of them I thought, all right, that's predictable. And then others like, holy shit, that you're okay. You know what I mean? Like, that was awesome. The tips of the hat for Tsushima, the Sucker Punch Easter eggs, the way the map worked, finding the little things and moving them in to put them on your map, rain on it, all this stuff. Like, Ghost of Yote is a very special game. I just think that, it may be coming after Tsushima takes some of its thunder away because it's iterating and improving on a game we already did love as well. But I absolutely adored this one.
Yeah, I think the thing that blew me away was the way that the world came to you and the story came to you. And I had so many. They're not emergent gameplay moments because they're handcrafted, but I think that's what's so special about it because it felt emergent. It felt like I'm just running around and, oh my God, this character came to me and now I'm doing this side quest or now I'm doing this main story thing. And I was just randomly going off into a completely different direction. So the way that they were able to make that feel kind of elevated comparatively to a lot of the open world PlayStation or just, Ubisoft fare, it feels different. It feels unique. And I think this is like the level of handcraftedness that I think you need to kind of stand out in this landscape of, hey, we've been there, done that, we've done this a million times. This game is really special. I'm going to be championing it specifically the way that they built out the story and made it so different.
And Erika Ishii just
Killing it.
killed it. Oh my God. Fantastic performance from her.
Anyone else have anything to say about Ghost of Yote?
It's an awesome game. Everybody should play it.
Yeah, 100%.
Before we move on, let's go back a little bit because we are talking about our rankings then. For Ann Roger, where did you guys have that, Greg and Bless?
I had Ann Roger at number 4.
Number 4.
Super high on my list. I mean, like, when I sit there for that game of the year, it's like what defined my year. And I think what's interesting when we get in, after this episode, the rest of the Gamescast this week are top 10 lists, right? And they are like, we go through and talk about it. And I really think there's a breaking point in my list where you get into a bunch of games that I loved and adored and had a great experience with, but didn't necessarily have that lasting power where when I think of 2026, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Ghost of Yote being one of them, right? I think we throw around the word frictionless a lot, and it is that great experience, and I had so much fun, but it's almost summer blockbustery where you leave, and that's not the film you think about the rest of the way. And so, yeah, my top 5 are in a very interesting place in terms of what pushed me, pulled me, and what I can't stop playing versus the back half are like great experiences that I was able to put down and walk away and be complete with.
Yeah, and Roger for me was my number 7 on my list, and I'm sure we'll talk about when we get into the top 10s of like that tiering where it is like, all right, this for me is like the toppest of tiers of this year, and like how does that fit in? And Roger at number 7 is one for me where I think right below that most high tier, which is crazy to say that I have like 6 games in that high tier, but that's the kind of year that we're having. Right below it, and Roger was the game for me that was the most emotionally impactful, right? The game that moved me the most, the game that made me feel things, which shot it up there, but. Yeah, no, going back to Ghost of Yote, right? Like that's one where, again, in that, I guess, second tier, that third, in those tiers, it's a battle. Like that was it was a tough one to weigh in those ways.
Yeah, and for Ian Roger, it'll be fun to talk about that in the top 10. There, I think I'm going to spoil it. We're going to talk about what it's about because I've played a similar game in recent memory that I want to compare and contrast why this one is, I think, head and shoulders above the one before it.
This was 11 for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fell just out.
Yeah, it was in that 11 to 13 range. I didn't fully flush out my like post 10, but yeah, it was like on the short list. It just didn't quite make the top 10. But let's get into kind of funnies. Number 8.
Number 8. Tied. Elden Ring Nightbreak. And Skate Early Access.
Fucking did it.
They fucking did it. They fucking did it, everybody. Let's start. Let's get Mike off the bench. Let's start with some Skate. Tell me all about it, Mike.
Man, I'm on Skate and Elden Ring, actually, Tim. So I get a little fun back to back, but we'll focus on the Skate, the good and the bad, the year that it's had, but most importantly, the return of one of the most fun games that I have ever played in my life, and the game that I enjoy the most playing, and that's Skate. I love the fluid nature of it all. I love the flow. I love the flick it stick is right. And just having Skate come back in early access, having Skate come back into my life is such a big deal because it feels so good to play. You can put on your own playlist. You can listen to their playlist and you just kind of get lost in the world, right? Yeah. That's what it's all about, is finding your flow, your style, your steez, as I like to call it, and just getting lost in that headspace. And nothing is better than after a long day of work, coming home with the homies and maybe having a spot battle, or just finding your own spot, finding that nice down rail and smashing that nose blunt on it, right? Or finding the mega ramp and just going all out with backflips, front flips, 900s, whatever. And so Skate having that return, like I said, the good and the bads, right? There's a lot of bad to this early access launch, but there is a lot of good, and the gameplay is what is good. The moment to moment, the feel on the sticks, the momentum that you feel into that trick when you land it and you go, yeah, hell yeah, that was awesome. That is really something that I love about this franchise, and I love about this game.
Greg?
Yeah, I play Skate every day. I think we've talked throughout the years at Kind of Funny, whether it be Diablo or some other games as a service that comes around. And I'm always talking about, man, I would love to have a game that I could check in and blah, blah. Inevitably, our jobs in our career move you so far from the point that the idea of dropping into Diablo right now for a session, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing? Skate is a game that I check in every night on, and whether it's just I'm claiming the free currency or whatever for the Rollstis, or I'm doing it for the stuff they're doing right now, the season tokens, it'll be I'll do one while I'm here, and then it'll often be no, I'm going to spend an hour and a half doing this. It is that thing of the amount of times I've been reviewing a game, and I'm like, oh, it's 11:15. These odds are getting heavy, but I didn't check in on Skate, and then before I know it, it's 12:15. I'm like, fuck, okay, got to go to bed now, real bad. You know what I mean? Like, it is that game, and I think. I know the chat is jovially upset, maybe really upset about it and stuff like that. Like, there's no character here. This isn't me looking past the faults as Mike is talking about. Skate controls so fucking well. I think Skate's biggest flaw is that Skate is not Skate 4, and that's what it's been destroyed about to this day on the Skate subreddit. Everybody shows up. I cannot get over how good Skate feels to play. And the story I would give you about it is that even before Skate arrived, Ben started getting into skateboarding and us going to skate parks and stuff like that. And I kept telling Jen, I'm going to buy him a board and I'm going to buy myself one. And Jen said, you are not buying a board. You are 42 years old. You cannot skate. You're going to fall down and break. I'm like, Jen, I just want to roll. I don't want to do a trick. I don't want to do a trick. I just want to roll next. And she's like, no. And then it was like talking to one of my friends who grew up skating. I'm like, I'm going to get a board. And he's like, you are not getting a board. That you will die. And it's like, that is what Skate is feeling for me. If I jump in and fucking the stupid AI bot V I muted her in hundreds of hours ago in this game, right? Like I drop in and I go skate. And I mean, like some days I do the challenges. Sometimes I do the season pass. Lots of times I just go to the southwest corner and use that skate park and just roll in the skate park and just chill. The amount of times out there you'll see me playing at my desk, it's not me fucking off. It's that, man, I need to come up with kind of feudy questions. I want to clear my mind. Man, I am not having a good day. I want to go skate a little bit. Like, Skate is fucking awesome on a gameplay level. Let's get mad about whatever else you want to get mad about. The Fortnitification, this, that, the other. Fuck that, though. It plays well. And I do believe that in a year to 18 months, it probably won't exist. Like, I don't think... who the fuck games as service? That is not a 2026 thing. EA... in general, EA about to be owned by Saudi Arabia, I don't think that they're going to be like, yeah, let's keep pouring money into this thing. But for what it is so much fun to play. It is the best controlling game I've played this year. That's why I put it at number 2.
Number 2?
No shade.
Oh my God.
No shade, no crazy. And again, this isn't a character. This is me telling you as somebody who's poured so many hours into this game. It just is fun to play.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, this didn't make my list, but like... I do legit think it's some of the most fun I've had this year of the three of us with a couple of other jabronis, just randomly, not even on comms, playing with each other and getting to sessions. It's like playing that game, the actual act of playing that game is just a great reminder of how the foundation of the Skate gameplay is so good. And I do think, it reminds me of a lot of how well Skate 3 controlled, but I imagine if we go back to Skate 3 after playing this one, there's a couple of differences probably where it's like, oh, they definitely have like updated some things to make it a bit more modern feeling. Everything around it, I absolutely hate, and it definitely made me bounce off of the game, but I can't deny that, like, in terms of gameplay, it was such a great time and to hang out with y'all while playing it. Like, I totally get it.
That first stream back was magical. Like, hanging out as we were all trying to get the game to work and, like, trying to connect and trying to actually, like, get past all the bugs that were there on day one. But getting to the point where I started in on a challenge that was basically like, oh, jump down from here and then launch over the thing while you manual across the bridge or whatever. I started down that, and it brought me back to playing like the original Skate games, right? It brought me back to what I like about these games, which is the trial and error and just the pure feel of it. There's something that inherently just works about that. And so, like, playing a version of this game that wants you to just exist in a space with others, that is going after like kind of the live service thing, but I think working, at least for the time that I played the game, which I wish I played more, but the style of it, the substance of it didn't continually bring me in. I do think that, to your point, Greg, there is something about just that inherent feeling of skating around and hanging out that works. That is satisfying for you.
And that's the push and pull. I'm never trying to yuck anybody's yums, or I guess in this case, yum anybody's yucks. But so many people's big complaint was it doesn't feel like skate culture. And like, I get that if you're chasing the missions, which I really feel are the training wheels to get you to learn how the game works. Because skate culture, and I'm not a skater as much as I want to be. My wife won't let me. But like, we just went to the skate park this weekend with Ben, right? And he's out there and it's all these adults who are doing stuff. And Ben walked up to a guy who was like, can you do a kickflip? And the guy's like, yeah, I can. It's been a few decades. And he went down there. He's like, I'm 49 years old. So 10 tries is one try. And the dude did it on his 7th try. And we clapped. And it was just a community of people hanging out and having fun. And like, that to me is what this game is when I turn it on and I go off and I do that. And I think, granted, they gave us the Founders Pass, but if they hadn't, I wouldn't have spent money in it yet. Like, it's like, I think there's a lot of bad terminology thrown on top of it, but I think there's a great game there.
Greg, if that guy can do a kickflip, so can you.
Yeah.
But he had been doing it for years. He had been doing it when he was still jello-y. You know what I mean?
Like,
Hey, Jungle.
in his teens where he couldn't earn it.
Oh my God. Okay, so it was number 2 on Greg's list. Mike, where was it for you?
Number 7 for me.
Number 7 for Mike. Was it on anyone else's list, Roger?
No.
No, you make Roger's list there. Then let's talk about the second tie for number 8, Elden Ring, Night Rain. We got to start with Andy.
This game is so good, and it's a game that I doubted, and I thought it was going to cheapen the Elden Ring experience for me. And I already saw, I saw the worst future possible of, here's a Nier Automata. We're putting 2B in Elden Ring, and we're putting fucking Yoshi, and just like weird shit.
Yoshi?
The guys from the boys. Here's Homelander, and I Tim was really. It was mainly Tim who was selling me on like an awful future of what this game could be if it starts to make money, and like the battle pass is like, oh man, that's gonna like cheapen something that's so special to me, and it just straight up didn't. I think this game has been the most games as a service game as it possibly could be, but on From Software's terms and on Bandai Namco's terms. And I'm sure they would love to really cheapen the experience with a lot of like buy the in-game currency and buy these skins or whatever, but it's all just done kind of in-house in that video game. And Night Rain is a game that I felt was really, really messy at the start. And there was this idea of, wow, it's like a battle royale ring kind of closing in. It's really weird and chaotic and super fast. And then the more and more I played, I think this is my most played game this year. I probably have like 120 hours in it. Wow. Still haven't been awful at it. It's just so good. It's so special. The different variety with the classes, the way that the world shifts and changes around, and playing with friends, yelling at Snow Mike, playing with Melissa with the Y, who's our hard carry right now. And just having a freaking blast with it. Night Rain is a super special video game. This is number 5 on my list.
Hell yeah.
The year went on, I just kept on playing it more and more. And I think dropping that DLC before the year ended boosted it a lot higher into my list because of the stuff that they added, quality of life additions. Still no crossplay. That will probably never happen. But I would really, really love to see that because I think you still look on what the player base only on Steam is, and it's still like 30,000 concurrents. This isn't a PvP game. It's just a 3-player or solo or duo sort of like play against the world, play against the the crazy bosses in this video game. It's a blast. It's a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Bless, did it make your list?
It did not make my list. This would have been my number 11. This is one that I had to weigh it against certain other games. And I think there are enough things holding it back to where I critically couldn't put it in my top 10. But I do echo so much what Andy's talking about as far as how good of a job Elden Ring Night Rain does at, I think, being experimental with what it does with multiplayer and what it does with bringing people together in like the From Software world. I remember the conversations about like, oh, they're gonna monetize this thing. I remember the first time we saw them flying in with like the fucking birds or whatever, and we're like, ah, shit, Fortnite gliders. Like, it's gonna be one of them.
It's over.
It's over. And instead, what you have is a studio that I think diligently looked at what other studios are doing and took the things that work about those games and made somewhat of a messy but really fun multiplayer game out of it. And it's kind of crazy how much of the heart and soul it still carries, even though I think there are things where I'm like, it kind of feels hobbled together in like the most like, but it's fun at the end of the day kind of way. And I gotta respect that. You know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to it. Shout out to also like the bosses, which I think are probably the best part of the game in my opinion. When you get past those first couple of rounds and you get to that end of run boss, and each of them being unique, each of them being new for the most part. I forget if all of them are new. I assume all of them are new.
All of them are new, yeah.
Yeah, all of them are new. Yeah, just super well designed, especially for multiplayer. Really, really fun game.
Mike, where was it on your list?
Yeah, I had it at number 4.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite games of the year. This is I've said it before, my favorite FromSoft experience out of all of them. This is the one that I want to play all the time. I've talked about it before. I love the co-op shared experience nature. And Bless said it so well, like experimental, right? I really love what FromSoft did with this idea, right? And for me, it's the movement. Right? The movement tech in this game is different from all the rest. All of a sudden, you are sprinting, you are double jumping, you're climbing up the side of mountain ridges. And it's like when you think of Dark Souls and that lineage, it's slow, methodical, being smart about your parries and your dodge rolls. It is not, hey, me and Andy are going to jump off a 100-foot cliff. I'm going to double sprint, tack sprint like Call of Duty, 1,000 yards the opposite way. And yeah, it's just this perfect mesh of discoverability with this open world map that I really enjoy, finding all the secrets, finding the different flows, from getting more health flasks to getting magic wands to going out and getting smithing stones in the caves to then saying, okay, what is our game plan? What kind of prep am I doing with my character, your character, and the options that we have that really blend together? And yeah, for me, this has just been such a fun way to experience a FromSoft experience with these die-hard bosses with your friends in a unique play style of having the ring close. Day one completes. You go out there and do it again. I'm impressed that they didn't take the microtransaction money way, right? They did it the FromSoft way. I would have been all over selling a battle pass, having different ways to fly in with gliders, having different unique costumes. Like, it was set up to just absolutely knock that out of the park if they wanted to, but they stood on business and they said, hey, that's not what FromSoft does, right? And so they proceeded to follow their path. They made us wait. They added different play styles, from duos to different bosses with different tech into a whole DLC. And for me, I sat there doing the Fortnite thing of like, give me more, right? Give me another map. Let's go. Give me this. And they took their time. And you know what? I enjoyed every moment of it. I really, really, I kudos to them for doing what they did. They kept me on, and I cannot say enough positive things about this. I can't wait for the future of what they do with the multiplayer space. I think they learned a lot from this. Of course, we know Duskbloods is around the corner. How will that attract players? But most importantly, what happens 5 years from now in their games, right? And so, yeah, kudos, shout out. Great game.
What happens this year? Duskbloods.
We'll see.
Anyone else have Elden Ring Night Raid on their list? Okay. Then let's move on to number 7.
Number 7. Citizen Sleeper 2.
Yeah.
Star
Wow,
Vector.
Let's go. Wow. Baron, you're my guy. You're my guy.
Shit.
Andy Cortez, let's start with you.
I mean, I wore the shirt. I just, I had to just pray.
Manifesting.
It was a Hail Mary to get anybody else to play this video game because it's a lot of reading. But goddamn, what a special experience Citizen Sleeper 2 is, to follow up an already like masterpiece of an experience with Citizen Sleeper 1. 2 phenomenal games that I would recommend anybody play if you are into just the most amazing writing you'll experience in games. I think the narrative it's telling, the choices you're making while, rolling dice and trying to be successful on runs, and, every run is not going to be okay. Every mission, I say run like it's a roguelite, but like the missions you're doing, you won't be successful all the time. This isn't a game where you're supposed to like feel, oh, hell yeah, massive W, dude. Let's go on to the next. Like, that's not what this game is about.
Let's min-max this shit.
Yeah, this game is about like just experiencing these characters and these side quests, and what are you going to Are you going to prioritize trying to, liberate this one colony that is like under really, really bad oppression, or are you going to go after this one thing that's going to help some close friends of yours? And it's like, it's such an oppressive game, and then manages to make you just feel like warmth in your heart after so many missions where the writing is just so amazing, and they let you know like, hey man, sometimes life's going to fuck you in some ways, and it's going to be tough, but we're going to get back up because together as humans, we can do this together. And it's like so hopeful and amazing. This game rocks. I could not recommend it more, and it plays awesome on Steam Deck.
Barrett, let's get you talking for the first time. What do you think of Citizen Sleeper 2?
Yeah, I adore this game. I do echo Andy's sentiment. I think it's the best written game of the year. This was my number 4 in terms of how strong the writing was, in terms of like world building and how the many layers of how this game feels like it's constantly oppressing you in terms of trying to just be a worker under this like hyper capitalist society, while there's this galactic corporate space war going on in the background, and you're just trying to figure out how to survive in your little corner. And I think this is a lot of reading, but the main mechanic, right, of doing these dice rolls to have a chance to do something well during a job, or to find a new crewmate. I think that mechanic also backs up this kind of feeling of everything coming apart at just one bad moment, one bad day, that I think really makes the core themes of this game sing. And yeah, in terms of, you and your homie who are just like trying to escape from this little corner of the galaxy, like space mob, and just figure yourself out, but then also slowly learning about this entire community of planets and how they're all going through their own things. It really, it tugs at the heartstrings in a lot of ways, and how they all come together to try to fight back against oppression under a hyper-capitalist society, and going into trying to build something beyond you. And the way this game ends really destroyed me. It was like one of those few, like, 1 a.m. just rolled credits and I am bawling my goddamn eyes out just because of how strong the writing is in terms of what it's doing in terms of a community, what it's doing in terms of you as a single person trying to navigate all of this stuff. I think is really impressive. And yeah, I think the really impressive thing is how different playthroughs can be. Like Blessing only played a little bit of it, but he got a character on his crew that I had never met in my entire campaign, right? There's little things here and there. Like I did something successful on one mission where Andy failed, but then the writing was strong enough that, like, even if you fail something, it feels like it kind of happens for a story purpose still. And I was really blown away by this title. And yeah, Andy, I'm sorry for ever doubting you for the years of saying, hey, play this game. And now I got to go back to the first one.
Yeah, sure. The amount of people that have told me I played Citizen Sleeper 1, holy fuck, like, it makes me so happy because it's one of those things where whenever I watch a movie and I go, oh man, can you imagine if they made this in this movie with that writer and that director? And that's how I feel. It's like I want these writers to write for everything from now on, just because of how elite it is. This is number 4 on my list.
Wow.
Brunswick writes in asking, do you need to play the first game to get the second one?
You don't need to, but there's some connections, characters that will make you go, oh shit, from part 1, but you don't need to necessarily.
Yeah, I still haven't played the first one, and I've fell head over heels for this one.
Yeah, you're a different character in this video game. You are a different sleeper, and in this world, the sleepers are this person whose consciousness is, you essentially sell your consciousness and the rights of your mind to put your consciousness into the body of a robot to then just kind of work forever and work your debt away. Because you are in debt to whatever, you decided to say, like, hey, man, I'll give you my body if you give me food to eat or whatever. And so you're a different sleeper in this video game completely.
Yeah. And fuck, I was going to bring up a point and I totally blanked on it. Never mind. Good.
We have got through our number 10, 9, tie at 8, and number 7 picks for Kind of Funny's Game of the Year 2025. We'll be right back with the rest of the list. Remember, you can get the Kind of Funny membership on patreon.com/kindoffunny or youtube.com/kindoffunnygames to get the shows ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money. The amount of times Mike has signed up for something, forgotten about it after the trial period ends, and then been charged month after month after month is quite frankly terrifying. He didn't even realize he was paying for SoundCloud for 10 years until Rocket Money helped find and cancel his unwanted subscriptions. But he is not alone. So many people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Thanks to Rocket Money, you can see all of your subscriptions in one place and cancel them within the app with just a few taps, saving time and avoiding charges. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. That's rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. This episode is brought to you by Factor. It's a new year, which means new goals and even more things to take up our time. That's why so many of us here at Kinda Funny love Factor. Factor makes it easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs so you can eat well without the shopping or cooking. On many occasions, Factor has completely saved me and Jen when we needed it most. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good for you fats. Feel the difference no matter your routine. Head to factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off and use the code kindafunny50 off to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Hey you! Join us in person for our live in review of Howard the Duck. That's right! Howard the Duck joins MCU in review Wednesday, January 28th at 7:30 p.m. at Cobb's Comedy Club for SF Sketchfest. You can come watch me do all the podcasts within a podcast you love. Andy will be going do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Nick will be shopping for pants during it. But everybody else will be there too for you to come hang out and see. All you have to do is go over to kindafunny.com/sketchfest right now to get your tickets before they sell out. Because coming watching a bunch of people talk about a very old Howard the Duck movie is really selling tickets fast.
And we're back with number 6.
Really quick, I remember what I wanted to say about Citizen Sleeper 2. While the writing is very poetic, I think the other thing it does really excellently with in terms of character writing is making dialogue not feel like super like flowery and like almost like I don't know, like not too like
Overindulgent.
yeah, overindulgent. Like it really feels like actual people just fucking talking and surviving, which really stood out to me as well.
What I need you two to do is play Disco Elysium, the director's cut.
We can play on your
Yeah.
phone now.
Well,
You
no,
can swipe
don't
like
play that.
TikTok.
No, no, no.
That's
Swipe
true.
like
That's
TikTok.
true.
Play the
That's
game.
right up my alley.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I was
Play
excited.
it on an actual thing.
That's like Mike watching every Christopher Nolan film on his phone.
That's fire. That's what he did.
In on business. Also, we haven't said it. Shout out to Lucy James for doing VO this year.
Yeah, Lucy.
Over the year.
Lucy,
Love you, Lucy.
And shout out to her saying Lumines.
She had like 6 different takes of like, I don't know how to say this name. So she just like went through a bunch of different pronunciations.
That's super
I
fun.
texted her immediately.
Let's get to number 6.
Number 6. Tied. Death Stranding 2 on the
Okay.
beach. And Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Coded 6.
Oh, I'm so worried about blueprints. I'm so worried about it.
Donkey Kong Bonanza makes it my first game on the list.
Wow.
All the way down
But
to
not your
number
last.
6. But
Way
let's
lower than I
start
thought
with
it'd be.
Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Roger.
Where did I have it? I had it on number 3. Number 3 on my list.
Who else had it?
Had it on my list.
Where?
Number 4.
Oh,
Yeah, come
3,
on.
4, 3, 4.
Mikey?
3-4.
nope, not
Greg?
for me.
I had it on my list. I had it at number 10, I do believe. My reasoning being is that I enjoyed it so much at launch and was having a great time with it. What's wrong, Barrett? Am I wrong?
I don't see that game on your list.
Oh,
Double check.
just
it.
you and
Lied.
me, 3, 4.
Okay. At one point, it was number 10. I'm like, no, I don't. Then that's a problem, Barrett.
Oh,
DK Bonanza is number 10 on my list, according to my thing.
Oh, I see the problem. He misspelled it. He said DK
Oh.
Bonanza.
Sorry, I thought you guys were talking about Death Stranding.
We are.
That we are.
Oh, I'm
We
so
were talking about
sorry.
Death
I'm so
Stranding.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Death Stranding did not
Made me
make
really
it.
scared. Big panic. Big panic moment.
Death Stranding was my number 11. This was my one
Wow.
that fell off the end there.
Wow.
I felt the fear in Barrett's heart.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I fucked up.
All right, let's start with Roger then.
Yeah, no, of course, Mike and I, we went on a journey. We played Death Stranding 1, and then a month later, we ran it back for Death Stranding 2. Special experience that, but by itself, the game is just so incredible. Such an elite sequel. When we talk about PlayStation with Yote and now Death Stranding 2, bringing those quality of life improvements from a great base game with Tsushima and then now Death Stranding 1 going into 2, it made that experience, that simulation of being a delivery driver in this fucked up world so much more fun. I think that's the stuff that stands out to me, right? I have issues with this game when it comes to the story. I actually think this is a lesser game than Death Stranding 1 when it comes to the story and like the way where it goes. I there's some reveals that are like, okay, Kojima, bro, calm down. Did you need to have this reveal 5 times in a row? That it's like whatever. But when it comes to the actual like gameplay, that's the thing that stands out to me. I was playing this game after playing it with Mike and being stuck in a room with him for a fucking week, you would think that I would be sick of this video game. But I was going back to it. I was trying to do all the side missions. I was doing a new game, not New Game Plus, but just a new game of it. I was obsessed with just the pure management sim of it, trying to go around and find my best course around the BTs. That is the stuff that stands out to me. Of course, there's some great set piece moments. There's some amazing twists and turns, and I will always think about the moment where you go into the other world, the BT world, and all the particles are going, and it's like, this is next gen. This is an insanely gorgeous video game, but the pure management of it all is just so fun. It's such a unique one-of-one experience that only an insane person like Kojima can, one, make, and then two, get greenlit. So I'm forever in debt for Death Stranding 2 existing, and I hope, amongst hope, that we actually get a Death Stranding 3, and that actually pushes it even further. I'm very excited.
Bless.
Yeah, this is the game that the moment-to-moment being in awe of what I'm seeing on screen really hit for me with this game more so than any other game this year. I guess starting with presentation, right? I do think this game is a step up from Death Stranding 1 in so many ways. Visually, I think this game is insane. I think this is the best looking game of the year. I think it's also the best sounding in so many ways, both in terms of audio design, but then also in terms of soundtrack. Just thinking about the opening parts of that game, walking through the mountains, seeing like all the detail, like all the fucking level of fidelity that I'm seeing on screen. Can't believe what I'm looking at here. But then, yeah, walking across those mountains, feeling the emotion, feeling the music swell up. Like, I think there's something so special about how this game can build that feeling, and then I think have ideas where I'm like, oh snap, all right, so the way that you're making this game harder in some places is by allowing rain to change the water level of like certain like rivers or whatever. That's interesting. Oh, okay, fire is a bigger thing now, right? Like the way that they're taking weather conditions into account into a game that is simply about walking from point A to point B, I think is so inspired, so fun, and so creative. I think story-wise, I love what they do there as well, right? They dive more into the ideas, the themes of grief and losing somebody, right? And I think the ways in which they go about that, I thought were really touching and inspired. This is one that I really enjoyed from beginning to end, wowed me, like had me like, what the fuck is going on in multiple moments in this game. I think this is just an incredible video game from, start to finish.
Andy, I'm surprised it's not on your list. Is that because you didn't finish it? Never
finished it. I just didn't really find a momentum with it. I forget kind of what else was out around that time. I played the intro of it, enjoyed of whatever I experienced, but I never went back to it, and I don't really have a good reason why. I think it's usually like something is in the way, or there's some other game that I want to play, and I also just imagine like, all right, I am enjoying this, but am I 70-60 hours enjoying this right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I was, similar to where I was with Metaphor Refantasio last year, or even Octopath Traveler 0 this year, going like, all right, I'm enjoying this, but I don't know if I'm enjoying it enough or if I'm going to enjoy it enough to take me away from other stuff that I want to play in the next week or so.
I considered this game a lot, weirdly enough, even though the story stuff did not click with me a lot. A lot of the presentation stuff did, Roger, like you were talking about with going into like the other world and like that first sequence with all the like fireworks and stuff going on. It's like one of those insane tech like showcases, but really it's just the moment to moment delivery stuff just like really grabs me, and building stuff for my own world, knowing that was going to be helpful for other people, and then getting that paid back to you. I started to appreciate the vision that Death Stranding 1 had that I only played a few hours of and then fell off of. Like I really just, some of my favorite moments were from this year were from Death Stranding 2, of just like going up that like mountain, like just covered in snow and getting lost and hoping you can get like just over this ridge, like in like a ridiculous tiny little car and all that stuff. Like a shout out to like the moment to moment gameplay, which I really clicked with. And like, I forget if it was before Baby Steps or not, but it was one of those like, oh, this is clicking in like a weird QWOP kind of way, but like AAA QWOP gameplay that I really fucked with.
Yeah, this was the game, because when we played Death Stranding 1, of course, notoriously I was freaking it, right? So I was just going up a mountain, didn't care about the mechanics, didn't care about building, and then I played about halfway through this game, and then I was like, oh, I should be building. Like, oh, there's a whole community of things. Oh, they like actually reward you, and actually going deeper into that. And then I want to shout out the actual like shooting and gameplay when it comes to that side of everything, where you're actually incentivized to like shoot people in this game and like take them down, almost like Metal Gear Solid 5, like, or at least as close as Metal Gear Solid 5 is, he's gonna get to it. That was super fun. Being able to throw an electric spear across an entire map and shock somebody, like being able to take down these camps the way that I wanted to in Death Stranding 1 and finally being able to in Death Stranding 2 was really rewarding. So that stands out to me.
I also just love how weird this game is on the most AAA levels. Like, this might be one of, if not the most AAA game to come out in this last year. And the fact that we get so weird and
That
so
ending.
crazy. The ending is
Gaga,
fucking...
baby.
It's so much of this game is bonkers. In many different ways, right? You have different character backstories where you get flashbacks and shit, and like even those things are individually weird. You talk about the moment with all the light spinning and how cool that is. I'm thinking about like some of those opening moments with the character Tomorrow and how it's like, oh shit, where did this come from? Okay, now we're getting crazy over here. And I know a big part of it is the fact that it's Kojima, and Kojima is being thrown the bag, and Kojima just wants to do weird shit. But the fact that this game can exist on this level, like not necessarily a reason alone to be like, oh, I'm putting my top 10 game of the year, but it's something that really resonates with me as somebody who just wants to see more weird shit in AAA.
It scratches that same itch or feels the same as like Alan Wake 2. Of
Yeah.
like, oh wow, you're creative, that had the budget, had the ability to make something really weird but authentic. And even though I don't agree with a lot of the choices that they make towards the ending of this game, it's authentic to Kojima, right? He's not just doing it just to do it.
Yeah, like Kojima could, I think I said this after I played Death Stranding 1, but like instead of making this, you could have made a more traditional third-person action game, and it would be an easy conversations for top 5 game of the year, top 3 game of the year, or whatever. But you continually to choose to make things that for you have so much meaning, and I think on the AAA level are just things that can't get made anywhere else, especially as we're talking more and more about budgets and shareholders and AI and all these things getting in the way of how we go about AAA development and how things are starting to feel samey and all this shit. Death Stranding 2 still stands in a place where it is, oh shit, this is the weirdest thing that you could have possibly spent this much money on, and it really works for me. And so I really like this game.
Anyone else have any Death Stranding 2 thoughts? Let's move on then to Donkey Kong Bonanza. Who had it on their list? Where'd you have it, Bless?
I had it at number 5, right below Death Stranding 2.
Greg?
Number 10.
I had it at number 4.
I had a number 10 as well.
Raj had number 10. So there we go. Is this the first game to be on 4 people's lists
Must be.
today?
I think so.
I think it is.
Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's starting to solidify. It's starting to get tight at the top.
Coagulating.
I really, really love this game, and I have been a Donkey Kong Country fan my entire life, and the difference between a Donkey Kong Country game and a Super Mario Brothers game, I've always really appreciated a bit more emphasis on the exploration and I don't even want to call it combat, but kind of the way that Donkey Kong rolls and the momentum of it all, and translating that into 3D just works so well. And it is something that I never thought we would ever get. The amount of love specifically to the country games that you get in this is so evident, whether it's the music, whether it's the looks, whether it's characters, and just the game feel. We've talked so much about the tech of the game and how impressive it is that you literally can break anything, and the way that you're moving through all of the different kind of materials, like the feel of it feels so special and so good. And the control scheme of break up, break down, break left, right, like it just works so well. And I feel like the team that made it, the highest compliment I can give them is controlling characters in their games. It can't be any better, right? Like whether it's Mario Odyssey or Donkey Kong Bonanza, like 2 very different characters with completely different kind of move sets in terms of mobility, but it feels you always are in perfect control of what you're doing. You know if you're going to make the jump, if you're not going to make the jump, and you know how much more you need to roll to get the momentum to do it next time, right? I think this game is very well balanced in terms of platforming challenges versus exploration. I love the amount of challenge levels that they have. I love how integrated they are into the bigger exploration adventure that you're going on. And I love that there are multiple bananas to collect in each one of the challenges. Like this to me is just a super fun game that makes me want to 100% it. It makes me want to do every single thing. And I think that they do a really good job of the different economies of having the maps to be able to find the bananas, to be able to like keep going. It's like, I never feel like I'm wasting time breaking things. Like I feel like I'm always like kind of doing something that is rewarding in a fun way gameplay wise. Bless.
Yeah, I think one of the things that this game accomplishes that from the get-go makes it work is the fact that, like you mentioned, controlling the game is fun, but I think even more so, breaking things is fun. You know, like that is the ethos of this game. Get in there, break shit, find shit. And when you're breaking shit, like even just through the different materials, how when you press, I think it's R to fucking grab a piece of ground and rip it out, that feels different if you're on dirt versus if you're on concrete. Sure. And that extra level of like oomph when you're on concrete, like there's something about it that just like feels nice.
And the vibrations are different too.
The vibrations are different. And I think when you're designing a game, you want to get people in there through that first second, right? I think you go back to Mario 64, and the first thing you do in that game, I'm going to climb a tree. Even before that, you stretch out Mario's face and shit, right? And even that's fun.
I love stretching that face.
You can do that in Donkey Kong.
Mario's face. What's up?
You do that in Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, there you
all
go.
the face paint stuff.
Yes. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, like, yeah, you climb the trees and you jump around, and there's something inherently fun from controlling the game from the get-go. I think that's very valuable in this type of game design. I think they nail that, but then even beyond that, I think they take what a lot of the framework they set up in Mario Odyssey, and again, I think a theme for 2025 with games for me is that games were inspired this last year. And so the fact that you took that and went, all right, what's the X factor here? Oh, it is the different materials. Oh, it is being able to like throw this material and it's going to explode, or you throw this material and it does X thing, or, you know, I break this material and it shows up somewhere else, right? I think that is so fun and so inspired and allows for really cool design around what you're doing from level to level in the game. And so really enjoyed this one. I love that we have a new 3D Donkey Kong as well, right? For me and Barrett, who are the DK64 boys, I never thought we'd be here again. We're up.
Greg.
Yeah, 10 on my list. It's in that back half, like I was talking about, of experiences I had a great time with, but just didn't have a lasting impact necessarily on me. I enjoyed this so much at launch and had so much fun with it, but it's similar to what Andy said about Death Stranding. It was a momentum thing. Put it down to move on to the next review, and over break, I hopped back in expecting to find that same love, and I didn't. And it wasn't because it's bad or anything to that thing. It's just speaks to what I have said about Nintendo games for so long. I think Nintendo is great at making toys, and that's not an insult. It's fun to smash. It's fun to do this thing. But jumping back in, it was like, cool, I can get more bananas, but why am I getting more bananas? What am I doing here? And it's like, okay, I think I know what the fun is in this game, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, and that's enough to get it on there. But not being able to be motivated to go finish it and roll credits or chase every banana or 100% or anything like that, that's why I left it here in the back 10.
Raj?
Yeah, I echo a lot of what you're saying, Greg, where I booted it up when it launched and I had a good time with it, put it down for something, came back to it, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I love this as much. I think I started to, every time I would put it down and pick it back up, I liked it less and less. And it still ended up in a place where it's on my list, right? It's still a great video game. I really enjoyed it. But when it came to like the actual level design and specifically the puzzle designs, I think the idea, the ethos rather, of Donkey Kong can break everything, and then that also means you can kind of break the puzzles a lot of the times. It just didn't work for me. I felt like I was able to go around a lot of things. I felt like the boss battles were over in a flash, which I understand because he's big and strong and you can kind of break everything. But I think I was looking for more of the traditional Mario Odyssey type deal with the breaking mechanics. And of course, completely different things, but it just didn't work for me in my brain. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. But it's basically Hulk Ultimate Destruction again. So that gets a bunch of points for that and has to be number 10 just for that alone.
Any other thoughts on DK Bonanza?
Oh, I want to shout out the ending. Of course, we're not going to spoil anything, but I think that game does a great job of really uplifting just DK as a franchise and reminding you why you like these characters, why you like this world, why you like what goes on here. And the fact that they got pops for me where I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know I could be this hype about Donkey Kong. I forgot how much I love this shit, right? I got to shout that out as well.
DK64 better.
Oh,
Damn. It's about to celebrate games, not tear them apart. Don't be like
come
that,
on.
Barrett. Don't be evil on this one.
Let's get to number 5.
Evil Barrett.
I say don't be evil.
Number 5. Blueprints.
Thank God.
Wow.
Kevin's here, accepting the award for Blueprints. It's Kevin Coelho.
Should have been you.
Kevin's game of the forever. Blueprints is kind of funny. It's number 5 game of 2025. Bless.
I was scared this wouldn't make it on the list.
Where was it for you?
This was my number 1.
Number 1 for Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Yeah. Was this on anybody else's list?
This was my number 2.
Wow.
Yeah, Blueprints for me is one that, I mean, again, we're talking about a year of games that were inspired, right? Like games that did something weird, games that did something different, games that really locked in and tried to find something fresh and new to do. And Blueprints for me is the definition of a game that does all those things. The fact that, and it's also like a recipe to appeal to me specifically, this game, because you're talking about a first-person puzzle game, escape room with roguelite mechanics, with also like card drafting mechanics as well. Like these are all things that really just work for my brain. And so already this game was teed up to me to be one that I was going to love. But for me, it comes back to when we got review codes, and I didn't really know much about Blueprints, but I remember Greg slacked me and was like, yo, this game Blueprints that we got a code for, this might be your jam. Like, this seems like some Blessing Puzzle Poppy type shit. And I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, it has the words, but is it going to have the sauce? And I start playing it a little bit, and like I was like, okay, like I see what you're doing in terms of premise. Played a little bit of it. I was like, all right, this is cool. And then it was Jason Schreier. I think I met Jason Schreier at the Nintendo Switch event in New York and talked about it with him. And I was like, fuck, dude. All right, I got to come back and play more of this Blueprints game. And the more I played it, the more it felt like I was attached to my Steam Deck at the hip. I could not put down this game. I took my Steam Deck to the. I remember playing it at the car wash. Like I was
in the car.
Not in the car. It was one of those ones where I left my car for them. They're doing the interior clean as well. So I'm sitting in the place on my Steam Deck playing Blueprints. But that's how much I could not let myself go from this game, because they found something here as far as being able to build out the blueprint for this house. If somehow you don't know what Blueprints is, it's a game where essentially you're trying to earn this house by getting to room 46, I believe. Yeah. And you are basically every single time you're going in, you're building out the blueprint of this house by drafting rooms, and you only have a certain number of steps to get you there. Within all of that, the game goes deep. The game goes real deep as far as meta puzzles, as far as finding out things that you've been looking at this whole time is actually a puzzle, right? It is a historical narrative that I still don't know much about because that feels like 10 layers deep into what you're doing with this game. But it did everything right, man. Like, it is a game that is so well designed and got me hooked so much. And I think the biggest compliment I could give to this game was that I was playing it while playing Expedition 33 because they came out very close to each other. And after coming out of a Blueprints hole, like, I boot up Expedition 33 and I go into a new level in that game, and I started looking at like the lights, because it's a level that has like different colored lights on the ceiling or whatever. And I tried to solve the puzzle of what's going on with that, and I was like, wait a second, this is not that game. Like, I am playing other games differently because Blueprints is making me look at every single thing in such a particular way. And I think that's just a strength of its game design. I think it's just a very extremely well made thing.
What an honor. Number one from Blessing this year of all years.
Oh yeah.
So go check out Blueprints if you haven't already. Blueprints. Barrett?
Yeah, it was my number 2. When we reviewed it initially, like I think Kevin was on that, and Bless and Schreier. When we talked about it, I remember saying it would take a lot for a game to overtake this as my game of the year, and for so long this was my game of the year. I think it's just like one of the most interestingly designed games in the last few years that I played. I'm not like the biggest puzzle poppy. I'm not a guy who like dove deep into games like The Witness or anything, but there's just something about the loop that you get into once you go through that first hour and start to understand the language and the flow of what this game is asking of you. And it's still satisfying 20 days in, and you get to the 3 little boxes, and you have to figure out like, okay, which one of them has like an item that's going to help me for the day. And thinking about puzzles on that small level that feel very escape roomy, and then thinking about the grander scale of this house and the randomization of this house that you're going to try to get through to get to the 46th room of this 45 room house, right? And then going even beyond that and getting into the late game and understanding like, oh, how deep this actually goes, not just in terms of story, but design and conspiracy as well, that I found really, really fun to dive into and sink my teeth into. But, shout out to Kevin, who I think is probably the biggest fan of Blueprints here at the company. The Mr. Escape Room himself, really found something that spoke to him. So,
I would call Blueprints this year is my Metaphor Refantasio of last year, where it didn't make my top 10, but I have no issues with it being anybody's game of the year, because I just know how amazing it is. And this is a game that I beat about 35 hours. I hit credits. And then I watched a bunch of videos because I was talking to Alana at the time. Alana was like, "Oh my god!" But I'm like 80 hours in or 90 hours in. It's like I don't have time for that, and I know how deeper it gets, and was blown away by a lot of what the lore videos are about the political struggle and history. it's wild where this place goes, and it's really cool and impressive. And yeah, just one of those that, like, I think if anything, it's the game. It's one of those games that I look at and go, AI could never do this. Like, and because it has such a human touch to it. Like, everything is there deliberately because the creator wanted those things to be there in that moment, and it's just so impressive.
Yeah.
Blueprints.
Yeah.
I just realized.
No, you
Roger.
No,
No, Roger.
Sick. That's dope, bro. That's dope.
One of the biggest criticisms I've seen in the last couple of months and throughout the years, like the RNG of it all, of like trying to get the perfect run to get to the final room and all this stuff. I never really, like, yeah, there was maybe like a run or two where I'm like, damn, I was like one step away from making this all line up. But to me, there were so many threads of not just getting to room 46 that were also satisfying as well, of just solving a puzzle that might not help you get to the end of it, but still just satisfying in and of itself to figure out, right? Where it's like, oh my God, there's a poster in every room, and that's supposed to signify a letter. And like, now I'm doing this huge puzzle where I have mapped out the layout of every room to try to spell out this code that's going to help unlock a thing underneath the cave.
The amount of screenshots I have in my Steam Deck and the Google Doc I have for this game that is just filled with just, if you found this, if like
Diary of a Madman.
yeah, if the police found this Google Doc, oh, I'm fucked. 'Cause they're looking at it, they're like, oh, he's crazy. Like, he's fucking plotting something. We don't know what, but he's plotting something. Yeah, no, it's like a game that will have you having like brain blast moments of shit. This has been what this is the whole time. Like, I was looking at the paintings for 30 hours before I even thought about it. And once I started thinking about the painting, I was like, oh shit. Here's the thing I will say about the RNG is that I'm with you, Barrett. Like, it wasn't that big of a problem for me until there's a room you can find that lets you edit the frequency of other rooms. And so there was one room where I was like, oh, I hate finding this room. I'm going to turn this all the way down. Then I realized a different puzzle, and now all I need is that room. I need that room to show up, and I can't get that room to pop up again. And I'm like, fuck, dude. And that's kind of where I put down the game on. Wow. But I will say that this game, to both the Andy's thing, right, of playing through the main story, rolling credits, and then putting it down, and the Alana thing of playing 90 hours, 100 hours, Jason Schreier as well. This game is an everlasting gobstopper in the way that, like, you can kind of play this game until you're tired. Like, put down the game whenever you want. I played probably about 60 to 70 hours, if I remember correctly. And I just put it down when I was like, all right, cool, I want to move on with my life, or I got something else to do. But I still value, you don't have to 100% this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm, don't get me wrong, way far from 100%. I took that afternoon or morning off and went to a coffee shop and had it in the notebook. And I played, must have been 4 hours sitting there, and I had a great time with it. But it was just that thing similar to what I'm talking about, where the hooks weren't in it of, oh, I need to see what's happening in that room. I was like, oh, I enjoyed this, and I know it's going to get crazy and yada, yada. I liked this, but I'm going to move on.
Main chat says you can reset that now. We're so back.
Before we get to number 4, I want to get to some super chats. You can super chat over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, just like Gondor's Condor did, saying shout out to my Blueprints Excel book of notes. Gifted Pink says, this is my fave content of the year right here. Here's some love from Canada.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Canada.
Mayor of Sexy Town says, Blessing, don't let me down. I'm counting on you for rematch. My personal game of the year. I've had so much fun getting better and better at the game. Is rematch on your list, Bless?
It is on my list.
Whoa! You'll hear about that this whole week. We're going to be doing our personal top 10 breakdowns on Gamescast. So the episode Bless is on. You'll hear him talk all about
Maybe it'll be
rematch.
our number 4.
Or yeah, maybe. Brad says, listen, for a few months, this is my first time watching live. Keep up the positive, nerdy fun. Rankings aside, what 2025 games do you think have real staying power? I think a lot of these do.
I think this whole list.
Yeah, I think that this was a year that we're going to talk about these games for forever.
I'm going to play Citizen Sleeper one day.
Zanfair has Expedition 33 at number 1. AK Dot says, this is a tip for Blessings Barber.
Oh, thank you, AK.
Wow.
Yeah. We have the Metal Falcon with Ghost of Yote at number 1. The Brandicoot has Hades 2 at number 1.
Oh.
Gigajarn has Expedition at number 1. Zeke Speak says, quick shout out to Lucy James, who I would die for. She's great. She's a great one to die for. Mike on Drums says number 1, Expedition 33. Mediocre Gamer has Expedition 33 at number 1 as well. But with Indiana Jones on PS5 sliding in at number 5 on his list.
Slide in.
Then we got Minecraft Galaxy saying 2025 was an incredible year for games. I believe this year has been the best year for games in a while. And we got Kobe.
Most diverse for sure.
Kobe saying, happy game of the year podcast. All my top 5 are Expedition 33 at number 1, Death Stranding 2 at number 2, Hades 2 at number 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance at number 4, and Dispatch at number 5. My honorable mentions would be Arc Raiders and Keeper. Listening to the smileys, I appreciate you throwing the love on Keeper. I know I was the one that nominated as a hidden gem, but you held it down. You explained it very well. What a charming little game.
Super charming.
Keeper is. Let's see. I want to get to a couple more here. The Postman, Mike. This one's for you.
I know. Ready?
Trails in the Sky, first chapter, made my favorite game of all time.
Hell yeah!
And it's
Hell
a true
yeah!
JRPG masterpiece, my 2025 game of the year. And Mike, you did actually just tap into something that I'd like from Jetpack Watchdog, who says, very late birthday tax. It lands literally right on Christmas. Hi, Joey. Thank you guys so much for years of entertainment. P.S. Can I get the loudest, most intense hell yeah from Mike?
Yeah. Happy birthday, big dog. Hell yeah!
You know, I bought Final Fantasy X last night on PlayStation. It's on sale, by the way. It was like $10.
There's never been a better time.
But you know,
Plus, it's always on sale. I'll tell you what. It is.
oh yeah. I mean,
Actually,
Trails in the Sky first
25% off.
chapter though. Favorite game of all time? Maybe we'll see what I get into next.
Let's get
We'll see what I get
into
into
Final
next,
Fantasy
though.
X. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm also
JRPG
excited for our number 4.
Number 4, Hades 2.
Back years on the list. Was it number 4?
You'll love to see it. Back Hades 2.
I had Hades 2 at number 3 on my list.
Wow.
Bless?
I had it at number 2 on my list.
Greg?
No.
Mike?
Nope.
Raj?
Nope.
Andy?
Yeah.
He's scrolling.
I had it at number 6.
And I had it at number 10.
Number
Wow.
10 on Barrett's list. Let's start with the person that had it highest. Blessing. Number 2.
I mean, what more can I say about this game? Fucking immaculate video game right here. And it's so funny for this to be so high on my list because Hades 1 was a game that I really enjoyed, but even though everybody was like Hades 1 this is the video game, it never really got that high up for like my personal list / my personal affinity to it. For some reason, Hades 2 just hit another level where I finally got it. It finally clicked. And I think
Cast, yeah.
I think the the cast.
The cast button.
Oh yeah, I finally learned triangle in that game, or circle.
So funny.
Yeah, but man, let me tell you, the cast in Hades too. Oh man, they
I
figured it
hate
out.
your ass. I hate your ass.
But yeah, no, I absolutely love everything that they do here. The amount of one of the things that Andy brings up often with this one is like the amount of dialogue in this game, and it's so true. The amount of words characters have to say, and you come back after a run, and they always have new shit to say every time. Makes me fall in love with those characters, right? Like I feel like I'm growing with these characters. The roguelite mechanics, the abilities, the boons that you're collecting are always so satisfying, and I truly feel that. I felt that every single time I went in for a new run, I found a new play style, right? So much variability as far as the ways they allow you to play, the ways they allow you to strategize. And I think it's just an immaculately put together video game, let alone how it looks, how it's the soundtrack, the amount of content. Beautiful game.
Yeah, I had Hades 2 at number 3, which is shocking to me because like this is a game that many years could be number 1. I love this so much. I will be playing it forever. It's immaculate. The gameplay is everything I could want from a video game in terms of engagement and action. It is so well designed. Every single weapon feels worth playing. Every single element that they add with the roguelite stuff is just as fun as the other. Even if you see something you're like, I'm not going to want the slow weapon. Yeah, you're going to want it actually when you have a killer run and you realize how all things kind of fit together. The amount of dialogue, the amount of art, going up for the first time and being like, there's 2 games here. Like, I'm getting Hades 3 right now. This is kind of wild. I am so impressed with how much fun I had for the amount of time and how much I still have to do, and I'm going to be playing this game forever. This game rocks, and I am so impressed with what they were able to pull off. I loved Hades 1. I love Hades 2 even more. The ending, I really don't like story-wise. That doesn't really get in my way, though, because the characters in this game are so good, and the dialogue and the story overall, not so much the plot, I am infatuated with, and they've done such a good job with it. It's just, the plot kind of lost me a bit at the end, but totally okay. Roger.
No, not on my
Nope.
list. No.
Barrett.
Roger put a napkin on
Number
it.
10.
I did.
Yeah, this was one where the gameplay of Hades 2, I think, clicked more for me than Hades 1. And I think that's just because of the moveset you get this time around that felt a bit more like AoE based that I really fucked with, especially with like the cast mixed with your axe and like finding builds that were just fascinating around that. I really loved. I think having a down route and an up route, I think, was really refreshing to keep me going in terms of, once I cleared Hades 1 once, it was one of those like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this to get like the real ending and like I'm just kind of going through the same motions over and over again. But I think having the two different routes lets you shake things up in terms of like, okay, I've cleared down a couple of times. Let me take a stab at up. And like I think even just how they're presented in terms of how you have to navigate your build when you go up at first, I think is really cool. In terms of like story and world building, I was less into this one. I think in terms of the motivation and kind of overall plot, I think is way less interesting than the personal motivation for Hades 1 and what that story tells. But still a fantastic time, really fun characters to interact with. The music as well just fucking hits every time. Like this was the game that I had fun editing the most in terms of the video wall stuff, just because it was hard to choose which song to use, just because the entire soundtrack, it's just a fucking banger.
Yeah, and also speaking of the soundtrack, and we talk a lot about the art, this is kind of a little outside of the game, but the launch trailer for this and like the last couple trailers that they did, they showed it all. I think it was at Game Awards or Summer Game Fest or something. Some of the most stunning animation I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe the level of skill and talent that these people have. Like there's like a 5-minute animation of just Hades 2, and it's like that is gameplay like come to life in this beautiful way. I recommend everybody watch it because it is sick as hell, and it just shows Millennium in a way that I never expected to see this tiny little character.
Well, I just love that Supergiant's been killing it so much with sales that they can contract out and pay a shitload for an awesome animation to show off their game. This game was I agree with you, Tim. I think that it didn't quite exactly stick the landing, and it's such an impossible task after many, many, many hours. I played this game more in 2024, actually, than I did in 2025. And I still had an awesome time with it. And I think every roguelite will always be judged next to Hades 2 and Hades, unfortunately, because any other game that I play, I just feel like, man, I don't like... The abilities aren't cool. You're never going to get close to the boon system and how varied that all of those are, and Hades 2 and Hades 1 are the examples of starting off a run and thinking that this run's gonna be a stinker, may as well just quit here, and then you find a cool move that you'd never really like experimented with before, and then you start to fall in love with it and you go, oh shit, I'm gonna work this into my whole move set later on. And I don't know, it's just it's the game that keeps on giving. Hades 2 is awesome. There's so much to do, there's so many characters to meet and talk with, and I think if the boss fights were a little bit more fun, and if the ending would have stuck, this would have been like a top 3 for me, probably.
Speaking of top 3, that's where we are. Oh yeah.
Before you go any further, I'm sorry. I do have breaking news from the Situation Desk. Katie Butler, 13 in the chat, says Mike made a pizza bet with Barrett about Hades 2 and Silksong, which was Hollow Knight Silksong will be Kinda Funny's number 2 game of the year, followed by Hades 2 at number 3. Therefore, Mike owes Barrett a pizza due to being wrong, with Hades 2 coming in at number 4.
Thank you.
Hi, punks.
Thank you. I will get on that, and I also would like to look at the YouTube comments out there, because me, Blessing, and Barrett went back and forth on what will be Kinda Funny's top 4. I just want you all to know, I nailed it, and you didn't believe it. Remember that.
You just got it wrong.
Yeah, you just got it wrong. That's why you owe me a pizza.
The 4 that would be in there.
Oh, okay.
And the YouTube was not happy with me.
Yeah.
They were screaming a lot of Ghosts of Yote.
A lot of doubters.
Settle down.
Prove them wrong, Mike.
I feel like we all would have
Settle
predicted
down.
this, though.
Settle down.
Prove them wrong,
I
Mike.
didn't predict it.
You proved
Settle
them.
down.
That is so funny. Yeah, I mean, are we all aligned in what the
only thing
top 4? The order we'll see.
Yeah, the order we'll see. I'm shocked to see Hades 2 number 4. I thought for sure we would have saw another game here, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this lands. Actually.
Yeah, this is getting interesting.
It is getting interesting. Let's get into it. Number 3.
Number 3. Hollow Knight Silksong.
Very interesting. Incredibly interesting.
That's nuts.
Whoa.
Wow. Hollow Knight Silk Song at number 3. I had this at number 2 on my list, and it was the biggest struggle for me to really sit there and decide, is this above Expedition 33 in my mind? Because I beat Act 3 last week. This game is incredible. I can't believe what such a small team can pull off. The level of artistry in every single frame of this game blows my mind every time I play it. It feels so good. It is so many of my favorite genres in one. I can't believe how much of a success Hollow Knight Silk Song is. It's $20. It lived up to the hype. There was way too much game in this game. I said this a second ago about Hades 2, but Act 3 really feels like an entire DLC pack that they were just like, no, we're putting this in the core edition of the game. I can't believe how good this game is. The music, the feel, the look, every single thing about it it's a masterpiece. Andy.
I mean, yeah, it's a masterpiece. That to be able to meet those expectations after so much hype, after so many years ago, and we're definitely going to see Silk Song here. It's 2021. We're seeing Silk Song. It's 2022. There's no way we go another year without seeing it. And for it to finally come out and hit all those expectations and like exceed them, in my opinion, I think what it does storytelling wise is so fantastic. The themes that you deal with, just dealing with like the whole church and all, like, fuck, it's just so damn well told. But I think the boss fights in this game are the most fun and well designed and difficult at times, of course, but it's just so amazing. Like, I can't believe that I got Barrett to play Citizen Sleeper and I got Tim to play Silk Song. Like, I know you're going to try it out, but I'm like, who knows how long this will go? And the fact that it is that compelling and that good to make you stick with it is like so fucking awesome. This game is amazing. This is like a generational type video game.
Who else had Hollow Knight Silk Song on their list?
Hollow Knight Silk Song was my game of the year.
Yeah,
there we go. Number 1 for Barrett Courtney.
This was not one I was expecting to fall in love with as much as I did. I shouldn't be shocked that it was something I gravitated towards, especially last year, falling in love with Nine Souls. And then, like, honestly, just the journey I've had in the past few years of gravitating towards harder games, you know, getting onto the bandwagon with Blessing and Andy in terms of falling in love with these harder games, Souls games, and then always just loving kind of like cartoon aesthetic, loving games like Cuphead, and then all of that coming into, you know, the meme that I really only knew it as was Hollow Knight Silk Song, because I was not a Hollow Knight 1 guy. And, you know, feeling a little bit of the FOMO. I remember launch day, I was supposed to come in with Andy to help him with the marathon stream, and I tested for COVID that morning, and I was like, I texted Andy from my room, and I was like, hey, man, call me when you get to the office, because I'm going to have to video call you through how to turn on the studio. But then watching that stream from home, being in the chat with everybody, and having this, like, you know what, I'm going to buy this game, and I'm going to check it out, and just falling head over heels for it in terms of, yeah, not expecting it to be like this huge commentary on organized religions and institutions, and the hollow promise that sometimes they give a lot of people, and then also just being just one of the best feeling 2D Metroidvania action games that I've played in a very, very long time. Yeah, I adore this game. I adore all of the little creatures and friends that you make. You know, it's the
game of little guys.
It's the game
There's just
of
little
guys
fucking guys everywhere that they're all amazing.
Even Hornet, man. And like when I'm dying as Hornet, I'm not like I'm frustrated because I'm like, God damn it, I know I can beat this fight. But then Hornet does that little scream where it sounds like she's just like an annoyed teenager almost. And it just makes me giggle, you know? It's like I love this world. I love the gameplay, and you know, the story and the lore around it is just something that really hooked me. And it's one that I played again just recently over break. You know, I was kind of done playing 2025 games. I was like, I just want to have something on my Switch while we're watching, you know, One Piece on TV. And I did another casual playthrough and beat the entirety of like Act 3 in like 35 hours. And that just, it reaffirmed like, damn, this game really fired on all cylinders for me. And, you know, I said it's going to take a lot for a game to take over Blueprints, and this game did it.
one of those rare games where like every NPC you meet is your favorite NPC.
Yeah.
Like the next one is always going to be your favorite one because everyone's just so awesome and well written and like I think affable in a way. Everybody's so likable in this game. Even some of the villains with their motivations. It's like, man, everybody here feels so well thought out.
I'm so impressed with the amount of tech in the game, like different ways to vary up your combat style and movesets. Like 60, 70 hours in the game, you're getting new abilities. And I like the way that the abilities work in this game where it's not like a lot of other things where you do have loadouts in this, but your character moveset is essentially just jump and slash, right? It's like, it's not like have all these like different moves you can do. It's just kind of you're adding angles to the slash or how much it goes out, and like the little tiny differences in the beginning I feel are so frustrating, but as you start playing the game more and more and unlocking so much more of the toolkit, it's like, holy crap, like you can really have everyone's Hornet is going to play just a little bit differently, but like it's such a dramatic difference in terms of how you're going to face off against a boss. And for such a simple moveset, I can't believe how complex it can get over time when you have the different tools, and you can just not even use the tools at all and still beat the game. Like that's crazy. But if you're having a lot of trouble with this type of platforming or this type of combat in boss fights, you have so many different tool sets you can use to change that and make it easier, and then switch it out right afterwards. You have to go to the stupid bench, but you can do that. And what I love is anytime you're stuck in the game, you can just go somewhere else and you'll find something that allows you to solve a problem that you have. And like that is Metroidvania in its truest essence, and I've experienced that in some other games, but Hollow Knight is the definite biggest example of it's not just, oh, I see that like cliff that I can't reach right now, I'll be able to eventually because I'm going to get the cliff jumper ability, and you can do that.
Yeah.
You're just getting random abilities that might help you in a ton of different ways. It feels like nothing is made for one specific use. It's just, you have these tools, how are you going to use the tools? And the fact that I beat the game at 89%, and there's a bunch of tools I don't have. And those tools might dramatically change the way the game would play for me. That's crazy. Like, that's so nuts that I felt like I experienced so many different things, and even in the end game, I'm like, oh, wow, people had this ability for the entire game. That's crazy. Barrett?
Yeah, and just to talk about like story and lore stuff, I remember when the Game Awards nominations came out and Silksong wasn't nominated for Best Narrative. I was like, damn, that's crazy. You hate to see it. I remember so many people in chat being like, damn, another Barrett L. And that's crazy to me because I think what the story does in terms of what it's commenting on, but just the personal character stories as well. We talked so much about the cogwork dancers and like how great of a boss fight that is, and then how heartbreaking of a payoff it is once you go to a certain character's past and learn what the cogwork dancers are based off of, right? I just met the character Loam for the first time, which I know a lot of people talk about, of like this poor creature who is essentially making the entire underworks like run, all that, and
running on a treadmill,
running on a treadmill, making the entire like machine of the Heart of the Citadel run. And then I know there's a bit more context about this outside of the game, but like Seth, right? Like Seth is a mini boss that you fight right before one of the final bosses. And you learn that this was a character designed by a fan of the game who knew they were going to pass before Silksong came out. And so they like got with the design team, designed this character, and then they like immortalized him in this game. And then when you beat him, he disappears. And then you realize in the Act 3 kind of areas, you can run into him, and it's him rediscovering like life and the world that he is now living in for the rest of time. And like that shit fucking hits. And hit me like a train wreck, like that. Like all of the little character arcs, I think, are so sad. Like shout out to who's the little Ashurma, right? Like who starts off as just this one kid who thinks all it is about like just being faithful, and then where Shurma goes by the end of it, you're like, damn, that is a full ass character arc.
Yep.
And I've run into you like you've only had character beats like 6 times in this entire like 80-hour natural playthrough, right? I really adore the character writing and the arcs throughout this game.
Yeah, can't wait for the DLC. It's gonna be awesome.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's get to our number 2.
Number 2, Dispatch.
For a second,
Hey, that's a win right there.
For a second, you let yourself, like, it was like fucking Sammy versus Roman Reigns of like, could Dispatch do this? Could it have overthrown Expedition?
Dispatch, I imagine, is on many of our lists. I had it at number 6.
Oh. Bless?
I had it at number 3.
I had it at number 7.
I had it at number 3.
I had it at number 5.
10.
8.
Wow.
So this is definitely the one that is, I mean, it's on all of our list, which got it all the way up to number 2, even though none of us had it that high on the list. Who wants to kick off with Dispatch?
For the future game developers, make an 8-hour game that's about superheroes. I'll play.
Greg?
Oh, man, what a love letter to the Telltale games, and then what a fucking generational leap for it. You know what I mean? To see Ad Hoc come out, this be their debut game, but obviously then be Telltale people, Telltale voice actors come out and do this, have Aaron Paul in it, have this amazing cast in it, have this amazing animation in it, and have this great story in it. I think the way Dispatch has hit has shocked me. I think we talk so much in the lead up to this. Does episodic work in 2026? Blah, 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 blah. And the fact that it has found the fan base it has and resonated with cosplayers and TikTokers and it's on all of my feeds anywhere I look, far outside of our normal scope of friends who also love it. Like, this game was a very, very, very special story and a very, very special game, I think, in the way it did it. For me, being in the back half of my list, it was more that fact of the gameplay itself for me wasn't that great. I didn't love dispatching. And so I loved the choices and I loved the narrative they were doing. But when I stack it up against other things I wanted to play that I was drawn to go off and really get crazy with, it's a different ball of wax, but an amazing experience.
Mike?
Yeah, I mean, as Greg said, I'll echo that. It's a love letter to Telltale games. And those games, of course, we all kind of grew up on and really enjoyed. And we were looking for choices that matter, right? Connections that can grow and make for really fun storytelling moments. And for me, I actually really fell in love with the dispatching and the hacking. I didn't want to walk around in a room and open up drawers similar to The Walking Dead back in the day. And I think this team at Ad Hoc figured that out for me personally. It was like, hey, this is what I want in 2025. I want the story to be a banger. I want to fall in love with these characters, but I really don't want to walk in circles and search rooms. I just kind of want to focus in on what's going on, and it felt like they did that for me, and I really, really enjoyed that. There's characters that will stick with me to the end, and man, shout out to Young Gravy, right? Like, it was just fun, just these characters, and you're like, who voices that? And you're like, oh my God, Alana, you're doing an amazing job, right? Jacksepticeye, you're doing a great job, right? Charlie, Moist Critical, you did a great job. Like, all of these characters were awesome. And you fall in love with your own, and you found your own rhythm with the dispatching minigame and who you relied on the most. You loved at the end, just like all the Telltale games of like, man, I'm in like the 98th percentile of everybody picking the same thing. Or, Tim and G over there, like, we're on 5%. Like, nobody else is doing what we're doing. And you love that. Yeah, I played it all in one sitting, actually. I really enjoyed that. Wow. I'm not an episodic guy. I want you to give it all to me, and I want to binge it. And it was the perfect sit back, relax, and just let this thing run. Never had a problem with it. Really enjoyed all of it.
Raj.
Yeah, I had a really special experience playing this game. I played it in New York with my brother. We played it the entire way, and we were just not passing the controller around, but every decision was 50-50. I actually had to remote into my work computer to play it because that was the only way I could play it because I didn't have my Steam Deck, whatever. So that's the dedication that I had for Dispatch.
Wow.
Playing and streaming it made the hacking impossible, by the way.
Yeah.
Impossible. I had to, it's horrible. But actually, for me, the thing that pushes it forward is the dispatching. The dispatching was the thing that me and my brother were freaking out about. Every time we were, okay, what do we do? Does Waterboy go here? Where does Invisigal go? And we're debating it. Like, we're debating it more than a lot of the actual choices in the game. So that to me was the surprise. I expected to, have the things where, who are you going to choose? What love interest? What are you going to send out this here? You're not going to, but like the actual dispatching was super fun. It was engaging, especially having my brother right next to me. And yeah, it brought back that feeling of like, oh man, we're so back. Like maybe there is a future in the Telltale formula. Maybe there is a future in this elevated format that man, Ad Hoc, they killed it right out the gate. And they have this, and then they have the who's the team that they're working with?
Critical Role.
Yeah, Critical Role, and they have the Critical Role game coming out eventually. So man, super exciting stuff, and it just the sleeper hit for me. I did not expect this one to one come out this year and then two be this freaking good. And I love that it's also a shared experience between not only us here at the table, but Greg, as you said, like people outside of every circle and every circle that I know, everyone's playing Dispatch, everyone talks about it, and it's becoming a new franchise. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we've touched on this already, but it's like this is one of the rare games I played with Gia, and seeing her freak out during the hacking mini games, like her understanding what's happening and seeing me do it, like the controller was in my hand, but she was like engaged with that level of gameplay, and it's like, damn, this game really pulled something off that every single aspect it's throwing at us, like she's paying attention to and caring about. And I think that that's such a testament to what they really succeeded at doing here, which is making the story and characters great. Cool. That's the quote unquote easy part here. But how do you make the gameplay stuff add up to make this a video game and it's not just watching a TV show? And yes, we've seen Telltale before have you're making choices and that affects the character will remember this and all that. But for the dispatching to have that level of they're remembering what you're doing, like your gameplay choices there are also going to affect the character relationships, and whether you make the hack or not make the hack, all that stuff, like all of it adding to this very clear and easy to follow kind of flow chart of every single thing you're doing in the game actually is going to affect the story is so impressive. And for over a decade now, we have talked about the early Telltale games and does episodic still work? Life is Strange, all of this of like, we've seen even the best in the craft utterly fail. Like, I don't know that I can think of a game that actually hit its episodic release plan. Like, am I wrong there?
I don't think you're wrong.
Like, real talk, let me know in the comments. Has there ever been an episodic game that actually hit its plan besides Dispatch? And they did it perfectly. And on top of that, this is a story that we have seen on paper too many times recently. All right, it's a superhero story that makes dick jokes. And I feel like that could have went so wrong so easily. But this stands up there with The Boys and The Invincibles in a different way. And I feel like they made it human. They really focused on the character relationships. And because of that, we now all care about these characters. This is a brand new superhero world. And so many just right calls down the line. Just check. Amazing performances. Very clever gameplay. Dispatch freaking rules, and I can't wait for more.
Yeah, this is one that if I'm going to use a word to describe it, for me, be refreshing. Even though there's so many things coming off of what you just said that are kind of iterative, right? It's superheroes, it's episodic, it's Telltale Choose Your Own Adventure, it's edgy. It's doing all these things, but somehow it brings it all together to still feel refreshing, especially in a year where I keep saying everything is unique, everything is finding its own flavor, right? The fact that I have it above other games that like Death Stranding or like and Roger or other games that I would look at as like, oh, these games have something to say. There's something about Dispatch that I think really nails all the things that it's going for. And I think that alone just makes it worth it, right? That alone just makes it exciting to me. I think everything you guys talk about here as far as the choices that you're making and how invested you get in these characters. And like even the joke that was made online that like, I think we referenced an earlier thing of like Dispatch is Twilight for men. I think there's something to be said about like, how much you get invested in that. Like I remember going back a decade ago talking about Team Jacob versus Team Edward, and me swearing by Team Jacob because of course I'm a dude. Come on. Yeah, come on. But like, you know, getting into the thing of like, do I want to do this or do I want to do that?
We're gonna have to dive into that later.
Yeah, like,
it's such an obvious answer. Like that's hilarious.
Oh yeah, but like I had to pause like multiple times in this game where I'm like, oh, what choice do I want to make here? And that's how you make a good one of these, right? Like every year, there's always maybe a couple of these choose your own adventure things I play, and some get it right in the case of A Life is Strange: True Colors. Some get it wrong,
like A Life is Strange double exposure,
like A Life is Strange double exposure, right? And there's a very thin line of succeeding and not succeeding in this space, and they just made every right decision. And I love that they're like, don't walk around. Like we're not we're not making you walk around to collect things or do whatever. Just play the Dispatch game. Yeah. That's the gameplay part of this. Making the decisions is the gameplay part of this. But we have a art style that works so well for presentation. We have moments in this game that you're gonna remember and love and fall in love with. We have humor here that's gonna hit for you. We have like superhero moments that feel sick as hell. Like, yeah, dude, this game for me does everything that I want this type of game to do.
Anyone else with words on Dispatch?
I just going off of like the whole like I like the fact that it is not just the boys, right? Like when I first saw this, I was like, oh, this is going to be like, oh, it's like anti-superhero. It's the superhero, but it's like everyone's bad. Or it's like, no, it's like it still has those, not generic, but like what makes a superhero thing crowd pleasing and exciting. And
It's got heart.
And then also it has some of those swerves that you don't expect and that real, office drama that it makes it really fun. So that to me, I think is the core of what makes this work so well for a larger audience, but also for all of us.
Yeah, I think it's really impressive of like how they kind of do a Guardian story again of just like a team of jackasses coming together and trying to figure it out and still making it refreshing. And I think having it be an office comedy is like a great way to freshen up that formula. And at the end of it, there's a bunch of different endings you can get, and being really satisfied with my ending and seeing this team be like, coming together in a very like satisfying, awesome, friendly way. That's kind of like a fucked up family. I thought I was, surprised, when we reviewed the first 3 episodes, I was like, I'm enjoying this, but I'll be surprised if it really blows me away. And I was shocked at like how much they stuck the landing in that like last batch of episodes to really make me care. And yeah, I just want to shout out the dispatching itself. I had a great time with, because I think similar to the dice rolling stuff in Citizen Sleeper 2, I think, and I would have liked to see this more in Dispatch, I think when they do use the dispatching as a way to sell a mood or tone in a point of story, I thought was really impressive, especially in those last few episodes.
I still need a challenge mode for the dispatching. Like I want them to connect all the dispatch like moments of gameplay together, just so you can do like an endless run.
Try to do or like do like all of the batches together and try to do a perfect run with like no dying or something like that.
Or Dispatch 99. We all get in there. Standing.
We start causing our own crimes.
That's $1 million idea right there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like this game would not have been in my top 10 if it weren't for the sharp comedic writing. I think I that's the thing that holds it all together for me. And once they nail a couple of jokes and you go, oh shit, they're like actually. This is like good comedy. They're writing really well here, and I appreciate that the writing's so sharp. But if it didn't stay strong throughout all of it, the story wasn't like necessarily like the most amazing thing. I think it was like really good still, but and the gameplay certainly wasn't like awesome or anything for me. But it was like that's the thing keeping me here for all of this journey, and I thought they killed it there.
All right, now it's time for Kind of Funny's Game of the Year 2025.
Kirby Air Riders.
And Kind of Funny's Game of the Year is Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
There you go. Expedition 33 is our Game of the Year 2025 with this amazing backdrop that Andy Cortez
Beautiful.
made.
Thank you. A lot of wallpaper engine. Shout out to Roger for showing me wallpaper engine.
Going down the list here, I had Expedition 33 at number 1. Bless.
At number 6.
Greg.
NR.
And Mike.
Number 1.
Number 4.
Number 1.
Number
Bear.
3.
And with that, on everyone's list except Greg's, gives it the number 1 spot. Let's start with Andy Cortez.
I mean, I've just talked about this game for so long, so many times this year. But yeah, man, it's making turn-based super fun for me in a way that I didn't expect it to, with how reactive everything is and how skillful things feel, but also having awesome memorable characters with impactful writing and really cool twists and turns that, didn't just feel like they were thrown in there for shock factor, like stuff that's really earned and really, really well plotted out. I just think this is like I mentioned with Silksong, this to me is like a generational type of game. We will be talking about this game for the rest of gaming history, I think.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I totally agree with that. And my top 3 being Expedition 33, Silksong, and Hades 2. I could say that about all of them in different ways. And I really had to sit there and try to decide how I'm ranking those on my list. And at the end of the day, I put this at number 1, not because I think it's necessarily the best in every single way compared to those two, but I just think that it is the game of the year. It is my game of the year for sure. It's the one that I think about the most, that I want to replay, and like I want to know every single thing about it. Jake Baldino said this months ago, and I keep repeating it because like it is so true to me that it's rare that I play a game or any type of media consume it and want just it in every single form. Like this is the first world in, I don't know, a decade maybe that I'm like since I first started watching Game of Thrones that I'm like, I love this. I want more. I want comic books. I want books. I want TV shows. I want anime. I want anything from this, because the sheer fact that they had a vision that they set out for that is so clearly inspired by JRPGs from the 90s and 2000s that they love, and they're like, but how do we do it the way we want to do it? It's just like across the board, just such a impossible task to be this special and pull off the music, the gameplay, the story, the performances, the visuals, everything backing each other up. Like this being an indie game, it's like kind of just every single thing feels unbelievable. And playing it, experiencing it, the amount of conversations I've had with you guys, with my friends, like there's so much to talk about with this video game. And I think that to me makes it game of the year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forget exactly the quote. There was like some piece of marketing before this game came out where it said it was gonna like revolutionize JRPGs, and I remember hating that piece of marketing. I hated it more after playing the game, because I don't think it revolutionizes the genre. I think it pays so much respect to the genre in ways where I'm like, wow, you guys love JRPGs. I see so much of various JRPGs, right? Like I see Final Fantasy, I see Persona, right? Like I even see like Mario and Luigi in terms of like the parry mechanics and shit. There's so much inspiration that's brought into this game, but then I do think that the original flavor, the French flavoring they add to this thing, takes it to a new level as far as like, oh damn, okay, this is a world that I've not seen before. This is something that feels like it's doing something brand new, and this is a story that I think resonates with people, or at the very least, even if you've not experienced anything remotely close to what they're talking about in the game, you can still get it. You can still understand it, whether that be through the story, whether that be through the music, whether that be through the presentation, whether that be through the twists, right? Like I think there's so much thought put into every facet of what they did with Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and there's a reason why multiple people at this desk have it at their number one, let alone the industry at large having it at their number one this year. Incredible game.
Mike, you're the most recent one to have beat this game.
Yeah, what a year for me, right? Final Fantasy X into Expedition 33 being my number one game of the year. This ball and gun gamer opened his heart and tried new things, and I was blown away. I had such a journey with this game, and as you guys have really said, this one's going to stick with me, right? From the story to the art design to the characters to the just gameplay, it just all worked for me. It was head and shoulders above the rest when I look back on my year and thought, man, what a fun time, right? It's like I had so much fun going from Final Fantasy X and thinking, you know what, I'm good. I played a lot of turn-based this year. There's no way that I could play anymore. Like I'm tapped out. And the moment I turned this on, all the way through act number 1, I said, man, I can't stop thinking about this. And the voice actors carried this, right? Ben Starr and that whole team really did a phenomenal job. This team from France really did something special with the genre, right? It's like the Pictos to the, of course, counter and parry mechanic, the map and the open world design being mixed in with these beautifully designed levels that really made you say, wow, this is crazy that I'm here, to the boss fights, right? Each boss being so special and cool. I just had an absolute blast with this game. And I can't believe in 2025 I'm saying this and, looking forward to the next year of like, I can't wait to see what other games I'll give a try and what I might fall in love with.
You bringing up the boss fights reminds me, like, one thing I want to shout out with the respect and love to old JRPG games. Like, the world map here is so beautiful and such a great, it's fun to play. It looks so different than the rest of the game, but like old school Final Fantasy sickos want the world map back. And I remember Final Fantasy X being my first Final Fantasy, like the biggest criticism that game had from gamers at that point was, where's the world map? Like, what I feel like we're taking a step back here, and to see it now added here in such a brilliant way is like so impressive. And also just the sheer scale of some of the enemies in this game. Like, I remember playing when I went back to like Final Fantasy VI or some of the other Final Fantasies, like the sense of scale of fighting the bosses always felt wacky because you're little pixels, and it's just like the idea of what would this look like. And now we have Final Fantasy VII Remake to kind of have a better idea of like what the different weapons would look like at that size or whatever. But Expedition 33 takes that to such a different scale where it's like you're these little dudes against these massive, massive bosses, but it makes sense. It doesn't feel like you're hitting them with the sword. It's like because they designed the weapons and the magic and everything the way that they did, it's so believable, and the way that it's presented is so nuts. Like in the early game, you're like walking around and you're fighting some enemies that are very big, and in the distance you see something that is like 15 times as big as the thing that you're fighting, and you're like, there's no way I'm actually going to fight that, and you do. And that's not like a big boss moment. It's just an enemy. So cool. Roger?
Yeah, this is number 4 on my list. I had such a great time with it. I think this has to be on the top of my list of a replay, right? Like I need to replay this game, and I enjoyed my time a lot. I loved where the story was building towards. I didn't love the ending of the game, but again, I need to replay it because every time I see gameplay of it, I'm like, fuck, man, I had such a good time. And I'm reminded of that experience and playing it for the first time, especially my brother was in town and I'm playing it in front of him and he's like, what the fuck is this game? And then putting him on, he'd never played any type of turn-based video game ever. And he looks at me a week later, is like, I beat the entire game. Holy shit, let's talk about it. And having that experience with not just him, multiple people in my life, like it is such a infectious experience playing Expedition 33 with other people talking about it. And yeah, I cannot wait to play it again because holy shit, I feel like I'm gonna be goated at the parries. You know what I mean? I feel I figured it out. It's a little push and pull, stop and start there. But now I'm gonna be goated. I'm gonna be.
Were you also streaming it across the country, like off of your computer?
Yeah, actually, maybe that might have been the thing.
You said goated at the Paris, but I heard goated at the Paris.
I'm gonna be goated at the Paris.
Yeah,
bro. I'm gonna go
30
crazy
will do that
on
too.
that one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like I don't generally replay a whole lot of video games. Chris Anka and So Mike and Maddock and everybody have the joke that I've played Lies of P 7 times. And it's just I played it a second time to get ready for the DLC. But like this was one that I wanted to record for YouTube, and I recorded the Act 1, and then I played the rest of it not recording it, and because I was playing it for review and the game hadn't come out yet, and was just so enamored with it. I think like my number one love language is I love showing people shit that I love. And I had just beaten it. We reviewed it, and I was like, I'm gonna replay everything again because I want people to see how amazing. And it's like I don't do that shit. And like I was there for another 40 hours playing the rest of from the start of Act 2 until the rest of the video game, doing extra shit that I didn't do the first time, which was also super beneficial. And I think when I reviewed it, I was like, this is an 8.5 out of 10. Like this is an amazing, like really close to like an amazing video game. And when I beat it, I was like, when I beat it for the second time after seeing all the little subtle hints that they were dropping the whole time at you and recognizing those things while also doing extra stuff that helped out and really bolstered the story even more and character arcs even more. Like, this is a masterpiece. This is, this should have been a 10 out of 10 from me. My bad on that one.
Barrett, any thoughts on Expedition 33?
Yeah, something I don't think we give enough credit to is just how in-depth each character's specific moveset is and how detailed that is and how much, like, in the weeds you can get with Everett. Like, it's been a minute since I've played the game, so, like, the woman with the cards and, like, finding out her flow, and then Lune's flow of trying to fill in all of the different corners of her weird little floating thing, and, you know, finding builds for every single character, not just the team set, I thought was really fun and satisfying to kind of break this game in really, really fun ways. And then also, like, I remember when we first started playing this game, when we got review code, or maybe even preview, I forget, but I remember being maybe almost halfway through and kind of having this click moment of realizing what the game is maybe going to be about on a grander scale, and thinking to myself, man, this is a really weird game to come out 6 months after Metaphor ReFantazio, and kind of being right about that and like what they're talking about in terms of, you know, existential thoughts, but then also talking about art and the importance of art and all of this stuff that I really love that there are similar things that they're commenting on, but having a different perspective of that. Like for me, like an exciting part of why I love this game was having it so soon after Metaphor and having these different conversations and thinking to myself, like, were these teams getting like coffee together and like talking about like game design and, you know, story design and all this stuff. I really fucked with it, but yeah. And you know what? Shout out to Act 3. Too much hate on Act 3. I think it really ties it all together.
I agree. Yeah, great dialogue, great writing, and phenomenal performances like Mike mentioned earlier. I thought like the whole cast just makes it so believable, and these characters feel so real, and their experiences feel so genuine and experienced. Like when they tell you their stories, and then you get to the end of their arcs, it's like, oh, that is so earned, and I love you even more than I did before. Like, this is fantastic.
So that is Kind of Funny's top 10 game of the year 2025 list. I'm sure everybody agrees wholeheartedly with our list, so please let us know in the comments below if that is correct. Before we leave for today, I do want to let everybody know, of course, the rest of this week, we're going to be doing Gamescast with different combinations of us going over our personal top 10 lists so we can talk about the games that didn't make the group's top 10. I'm sure there are many, many, many of them. But before we leave today, we have a bunch of fun stats that we want to get to.
Love this. This is my favorite section. Barrett.
So Barrett, hit us.
Welcome to Boss Baby Stat Corner. We've got point breakdowns for the top 10. We've got some fun facts and stats for you, and we've got the official honorable mention for Kind of Funny's Game of the Year list for 2025. The first thing we'll go through is our point breakdown for the top 10. See a lot of people in chat, doing it live in real time and all that stuff, but let me give an official breakdown for you. Going into this year, just as a little precursor here, I was really worried about ties. I remember even coming to Andy a couple of months ago of like, what are we going to do if there's a million ties on this list? Granted, only had 2, which is kind of the same that it's been the last couple of years. But you'll understand why I was so nervous and kind of being validated on how nervous I was about ties when we start getting into the bottom half of this list and how tight everything was together. So, number 10, and Roger coming in with 11 points, which was the barrier to entry here. Ghost of Yote at number 9 came in with...
I should have known better.
Ghost of Yote coming in at number 9 with 12 points. Elden Ring, Night Rain, and Skate Early Access coming in at number 8. Say it with me, everybody. 13 points. Yeah. Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector coming in at number 7. Say it with me, everybody. 14 points. And then matter. Death Stranding 2 on the beach and Donkey Kong Bonanza at number 6. One last time, everybody. 15 points. Wow. So the bottom half of this list, all within a 4.5 point margin of each other. Wow. And it really just if one thing was different.
Dude, if one of us wakes up on the left side of the bed instead of the right side of the bed, this whole list looks different.
Exactly. And we might have a fun anecdote about that at the end.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave that there.
So then we get to the top 5 where we start to see a bit more hand-holding between each other, and we start to get a bit more breathing room with these point breakdowns. So Blueprints coming in at number 5 came in with 19 points, so we start to see a little bit of distance there. Hades 2 coming in at number 4 with 23 points. Hollow Knight Silksong came in at 3rd place with 28 points, and Dispatch came in at number 2 with a solid 35 points. That's another piece of bet I won. Blessing guessed that Hollow Knight Silksong would come in at number 2, and I had a feeling it wouldn't because I knew. I had the feeling, I was like, it's only going to be me, Andy, and Tim fighting for it.
Get Pie Punks. Pie Punks.
No, don't I get to decide, or do they get to decide?
I already want pizza. We're having pizza today.
That's for everybody.
Yeah, bro. Pizza bets work. You buy that pizza.
So
yeah, for the person though, I don't. Everybody's going to buy for the whole office.
Yeah, I feel like don't I get the pizza? Anyways.
Golden Boys.
Not the most surprising that Claire Obscure Expedition 33 won Game of the Year for Kind of Funny. It's winning Game of the Year for almost every other goddamn outlet.
Yeah, I started the graphic like a month ago.
Did you accidentally put it in assets?
Yeah.
Did you?
He put it in assets and I got the notification and immediately deleted. I'm like, I hope no one saw that.
It was a shocker.
Well, I mean, was there any shot? It wasn't. Like, what was the points there for Expedition?
So, I know people are probably wondering how big of a sweep was it for Claire Obscure? How much of a point difference was there between 1 and 2? Was it a Ragnarok year where Ragnarok won by 30 points? Was it a Zelda year where Zelda won, I believe, by 20 points? It got close, but not quite. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 came in at number 1 with a solid 50 points. So a 15-point difference. So not as wide of a margin between 1 and 2 as we've seen in the past. I think Ragnarok still undefeated in that category. This is the lowest scoring number 1 since Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I believe.
Put Ragnarok in this year, though. I mean, come on. It's like number 6, maybe.
All right.
Yeah, I believe last year Astrobot won with 52 points. I forget what Zelda and Ragnarok did, but they were both pretty high. And then Ratchet and Clank, still our lowest winning game of the year with 41 points. And that will still probably be the tightest voting between number 1 and 2, because I think Ratchet won by 1 point over Returnal, Deathloop,
God.
one of those. They were all within 2 points
Sifu?
of each other.
No,
it was
different
Returnal was number 2.
Melissa with a Y in the chat. Kind of funny's favorite game of all time. Astro.
Never forget.
So with that, then we get into some fun facts, some fun stats. People were already pointing this out. Third year in a row, we've had 12 games make it onto our Game of the Year list, but 7 of those 12 games were indie games, and the entire top 5, as you see here, come in all shapes, different shapes and sizes, were all indie games, which is a first for a Kind of Funny Game of the Year list. Another first we have, Dispatch breaks a trend. Typically, if there is a game that is on everybody's list that votes for Game of the Year, it does win Game of the Year, as we've seen with Ratchet and Clank, God of War Ragnarok, and Astrobot. This is the first year ever where Dispatch was on all of our lists but did not make the number 1 spot, coming in at number 2. And Roger is now also the lowest scoring number 10 game, coming in with 11 points. I think that might have beaten last year. Yeah, Black Ops 6 and Tekken 8 were tied with 12 points last year. So very low barrier of entry there. Another fun stat for you, Blueprint shares this stat actually with last year's Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. Those are the highest games on the list, only being voted on twice. So last year, Shadow of the Erdtree tied with Prince of Persia, but Shadow of the Erdtree was only voted on twice. Same with this year, Blueprint coming in at number 5 with only Blessing and I voting for it. So then we get to the last, not even fun stat or fun fact or anything. Let's talk about a saga. The voting drama saga. As some of you know, voting for Game of the Year.
Tim looking at
Like who's the problem here? You know what I mean? I love it could be any of you three.
we know
I know
who's
it's
the
not
problem.
us
We know who's the
three,
problem.
You know who's the
but
problem.
it could be any of you three.
Okay, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I would actually give Roger the benefit of the doubt here. For those who don't know, Game of the Year for Kind of Funny voting opens on our last day in office in 2020, or of the year. So I think that was December 19th or 20th, around there. And then voting ends the first day we come back in office. So this year, that was January 2nd. That was the day we came in office to really prep for Kind of Funny Day. And voting is due at 3 p.m. on the last day of voting. And I knew there was going to be a problem. On January 2nd, we all came together. We were kind of like doing a mini production meeting, figuring out KF Day, what we still needed to do. And I said, hey, reminder for everybody who votes for Game of the Year, your votes are due by 3 p.m. today. And I knew there was going to be a problem when one Snowbike Mike uttered under his breath, oh shit. Like he hasn't done this for the last 5 years.
For Monday, Tim. I was planning for Monday.
That's never how it worked, Mike. So, voting slowly comes through.
It's not like there's a meeting every week where we go over this information.
Yeah, exactly.
oh shit, I haven't done that.
Yeah, exactly. And so voting comes through. Voting's due by 3 p.m. And at one point, actually, to Mike's credit, I think it was around like 12:30, all of the votes came through. And I was like, oh shit,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, big dog.
All right. Woo. An hour goes by. And I get a Slack message from Mike. It's like, Chaperone, please, I'm begging you. I know you say once we vote, we can't change our vote, but it's still before 3 p.m. Please, for the love of God, I forgot about a game. I forgot about a game. I need to fix my list. Mikey, what game did you forget about that you'll talk about on your personal list later this week?
Baby steps.
This motherfucker forgot about baby
forgot about
steps on his
Yeah,
own
it's a big one to forget, honestly.
It's got to be on there. It's got to be on there.
Gotta recognize it.
So before Mike changed his vote, if I remember correctly, I think there was one tie on this list. Mike changed his vote. There was not one tie. There were not 2 ties. There were 3 ties, and one of them was a 3-way tie. Oh. And I was thinking to myself, fuck, this sucks. I fuck with ties. It's a fun way to celebrate more games. But I'm thinking about the chat who already cries about ties every year. And I'm like, a 3-way tie, which hasn't happened since 2020, when only 4 people voted on Game of the Year, is going to melt people's brains. And then also, like, Andy came up with a solution for ties on the front desk a couple of years ago. It looks great. Try to get 3 games into a slot. I was like, this is going to look like ass.
It was
This
a tough.
sucks.
It was a tough graphic you asked me to do. I was like,
and I was worried about it months ago. I was like, I have a feeling it might happen. Can you make a mock-up of what a 3-way tie would look like? And it looked kind of stupid. And so I was like,
Sorry, Andy.
No, I mean, I did my best. I agree. It looks stupid. The games look so tiny.
Yeah, that's not a commentary on Andy. Why are you going to use a column?
and so it was just like, all right, well, this is the list. And the one strict rule I have is that I'm not allowed to change my own list once I see someone else's because I'm the only one who sees the results here.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Unbiased.
all right, like I got to play it where it lies. And so I started, and mainly the reason why I have people not resubmit is mainly for asset's sake. Once I start, finalizing these assets, I don't want to have to go back and redo a bunch of things once I start locking things in. But that three-way tie and having 3 ties on the top 10, I was like, fuck, man, this sucks. But then one night, a glowing star from the heavens came down in the form of a text message from one Andy Cortez.
Who
And he
changed
said,
it again.
Jabroni, and he didn't say Jabroni, he doesn't talk like Mike like that. He said, yo, I know you say no resubmission.
Jesus Christ.
I said,
These
what?
two.
I said, what if?
I said,
Imagine
what
if I
if?
messed up my list.
So the credit I will give to Andy, because Andy, while we can assume what game of the year is going to be, and we pre-make a lot of these assets before like voting even comes through, he doesn't see the rest of the list. He doesn't know the situation I'm in on the back end. He's just like, hey, I was trying to keep a game off of my list because I thought it was early access, but
Shout
then
out to chat.
someone pointed out to me that it's not actually early access, so I would like to fix my list. And what game was that, Andy?
The king is watching.
Yeah.
Number 8 came in on the list. I thought it was early access this whole time. And Chad was like, no, Andy, it's not. Like, I'm looking right here. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it
Didn't
is,
they just
guys.
put DLC out?
Well, like, I just thought that was like
An update?
Every other
Fair,
early
fair,
access
fair,
has
fair,
their
fair,
roadmap or whatever. And I'm looking at it and I was like, oh my God, you're right. Holy fuck. So I texted him. I was like, look, if it fucks things up, don't worry about it. I'll leave it off the list. Don't worry about it. Like, I know this is 3 days late. And then Barrett replied with,
I'll allow it.
Wow.
because it helps out with that.
Because I looked
Because
at, I
this is
did some
beneficial
mental
to
math. I did some mental math, and I was like, oh, this would knock off one of the 3 ties, and then it would break up Ghosts of Yote from being tied with Night Rain and Skate Early Access. And I thought about, and I made that final decision so I wouldn't melt chat's brain with a 3-way tie, and then to also think about assets and how annoying it would be to
Wow.
make a 3-way tie.
So it's okay when Andy does it, but not when Mike does it. That's crazy.
Well, it'll help the
That's crazy.
situation, you know?
Well, Mike fucked it, and then Andy unfucked it.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
That's actually
And
a
I
good way
will
to
say, after Mike resubmitted his list, I did go to him and I looked him in the eye and I said, I'm just going to be straight with you. You've made my life a fucking headache, and I'm actually really annoyed with you. And he
Tapped him
looks
up.
at me with a smile on his face, glimmer in his eye, and he says, Barrett, I couldn't ask for anything more, and then just walked away. And I was like, all right, man, I guess that's my life. But I made the executive decision on that, and maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that process on tomorrow's Gregway, which you can get on patreon.com/kindafunny, where I'll talk about game of the year process, the executive decision I had to make this year when it came to resubmitting votes and all that stuff, which is always a little daunting when it's only me who's like kind of making the decision at the end of the day, because I want to surprise the rest of you with the list. But that gets us to our honorable mention, which was a tie originally on our top 10 games. And because I made assets for it, here you go.
Octopath Traveler 0.
And
And
Who's it?
Kirby Air Ride.
Wow.
you two
Wait,
fucked
how?
me.
How?
It's not a top 10 game.
That's not on my list.
That's not a top 10.
Kirby Air Riders is my game of the year.
Shut up, Roger. No
Stand
way.
strong! Octopath and Kirby fans unite! We've been quiet too long this episode.
I feel like I was invited to a party by one person, and then the one person I knew left the party. That's what happened here. Is I was like, oh man, definitely this is going to be number 10. I'm sure Tim or maybe Bless having a number 10 around there. I put it at number 1. None of you guys put it there. What the fuck is going on here? We're going to have a
love
bloodbath
it.
tomorrow. We're going to have a conversation between Tim, Bless, and myself, because it's going to be a reckoning. Because Kirby Air Riders is the game of the fucking year.
I don't think I
And
had
I will
that
stand
in my-
by that. No bit, nothing. This game is fucking perfect. Holy shit.
I thought when you
I
put
don't
the
have it in
little
my top
hamster on
20.
your list,
Yeah, Rick.
I thought when you put Rick on the list, like, yeah, that's the recognition I'll give it.
No, I was ready to talk about today.
That's so funny.
Let me tell you the amount of when we were going through it 10, 9, 8, I was like, oh man, number 7. Oh, man, number 6. I was waiting about number 4. About number 3, I gave up.
I was like,
About number 3?
That's where you gave up, dog.
I am so mad at Andy. Andy Cortez is the man who earns my ire because a few weeks ago, the week when we started thinking, he was like, "Hey, let me log into your Steam. I need to grab Octopath Traveler assets." And I was like, "Oh, it's no way it's on the list." He's like, "We're so spread out this year. You've been so vocal. It's your number 1. 10 points might get it done."
Yeah.
And so I had that twinkle in my eye. I'm like maybe 10. So and Roger popped up, and I was trying to figure out the math, but I couldn't do it quick enough. And when we got to Yote, I'm like, I'm fucked. This ain't happening.
Yeah, Roger, I have my top 20 written down. Kirby Air Rider is not even close.
Wow. We're gonna have a conversation tomorrow.
If Skate wasn't a tie, Greg, it would have been the graphic of you with the skateboard that had the Ghostbusters on it.
Nice.
But since it's that, I
appreciate that.
different
Thank you.
graphic for it.
Roger's a gamer, man.
I'm a gamer, bro. It changed my life.
I really thought that
Incredible.
Tim helped
No.
get it to
No.
honorable mention.
No.
Dang.
Yeah, like
Number 1. And I mean this
With a
heart.
bullet.
With a bullet, bro. Easy. Look at Expedition 33. I say, get away from me.
Get out of here. I love that for you.
wow, that is number 1.
I mean it,
Number
bro.
1, baby.
Changed my life.
That's awesome.
Love that so
Changed my
much.
life, bro.
Also, this was the first year that I'm like, all right, no early access. Last year I had Hades 2 and thing, but it's like this is the year I want to like make that rule for myself after hearing other people make that rule for themselves. Like I want to do the same thing, but not DLC because Liza P Overture. Real high. On my
That's
list.
new. That's new content.
Real
you
high
know?
up on my
Yeah,
list.
I think
yeah,
that was
yeah.
top 15 for me.
Yeah.
And that was another reason why I allowed it for you because it didn't feel like I forgot about this. Like you were trying to make a point, and then it was like,
thought it was
you
early
made that
access.
point for no reason. So I was like, yeah. That's also this was before I became Barrett parentheses evil. I was like, you know what, I'll allow it just because you were trying really hard.
King was watching.
Yeah, you got so far.
He was watching.
I thought that the number 11 was going to be Shinobi. I thought Shinobi would have made more people's lists kind of in that back end because it was my number 9. Was it on
It
anyone
was
else's?
in my 15.
Wow.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
shit.
the only one who voted for it, Tim.
Dang.
It was really close for me.
It's crazy.
Chris Hank in the chat. Oh, surprise, surprise. Andy brings up Liza P.
Later, Ted Dubs.
Cute.
Well, everybody,
Shout out to Shinobi. That is like some of the most fun I've had in terms of an action game this year, for sure.
And shout out Kirby Air Riders.
Shout out Air Riders, man.
While we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out Ninja Gaiden 4
Anybody
while we're
else?
here.
Oh man. Like I was saying, the rest of this week will be Gamescast of all of our personal top 10s, getting into every single game on the list, whether they're on this group list or not, kind of giving more thoughts on everything. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you haven't seen the Smileys, go check it out. Last week we did an awesome show kind of celebrating video games from a bunch of different perspectives, giving out a bunch of awards to games and to Mike. And you're going to want to see all of those because they're a lot of fun. Andy, did you edit all those clips together?
Yeah, I need to. I want to re-upload somewhere. Something happened. It was fucked. The whole video was fucked up. So sorry about that. But it was the message got across.
They got across for sure. Thank you all for hanging out with us. This has been another Kind of Funny Game of the Year. Greg Miller.
More importantly, though, don't go anywhere.
Yes.
Up next is Kind of Feudy, episode 2 of the Greg Miller regime. And you're going to like the prize. I guarantee it.
He guarantees it, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Watch Kind of Feudy. Love you all. Goodbye.